Well, it certainly has the potential to be another stirring afternoon in Govan. Here on Sports Sounds, it is the Scottish Cup quarter-final. It's live on BBC Radio Scotland. It is, of course, Rangers against Celtic. More to come from Tom English. Your commentary team is Pat Bonner, Andy Halliday and Liam McLeod.
Richard, thank you. Good afternoon here. Ibrox Stadium, the third of the Scottish Cup quarter-finals. Who will join Falkirk and Dunfermline Athletic in tonight's draw for the last four, as these two go head-to-head in the Scottish Cup for a 56th time. And for the 5th time in 6 seasons, Rangers have won 19 of the 56 in this tournament, Celtic 27, and it's the 12th time they've gone head-to-head in this competition here at Ibrox. Rangers winning 5 to Celtic's 3. The last time they met here in this tournament was in the 4th round in 2021. Rangers won 2-0 thanks to goals from Stephen Davis and a John Joe Kenny OG. And you've got to go back to February 1957 to find Celtic's last Scottish Cup win on enemy territory in Glasgow. Liam Scales, the skipper for the day, in the absence of Callum McGregor. And I'm sure that will be felt as the game goes on. The Celtic players in their huddle as plumes of green and orange smoke billow from the away end. The Broomloan off to our left, which is housing 7,500 Celtic supporters this afternoon. The starting 11s for Rangers: Butland, Sterling, Giga, Fernandez, Romans, Skov Olsen, Diamonde, Raskan and Moore, Chermiti and Nadiri. Celtic: Sinisalo in goal, Araujo, Arthur, Trusty, Scales, McCowan, Hatate, Nygren, Yang, Tenekti, Maida, no Tierney, no McGregor, no Schmeichel. Rangers with John Souttar dropped from the starting 11, as was Chikwane. They are both on the bench. So that's the scene set. Celtic are going to kick off in the green and white hoops, going from left to right towards Copeland Road. Rangers in the blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops will go towards the Broomloan. What an occasion. What a tournament it's been so far. Falkirk battling past Dundee United on Friday night. Dunfermline obliterating Aberdeen yesterday. As Celtic kick off, Nygren rolls it back to McCowan, out to Scales on the left side, and down the line it goes to Hatate, turned back towards Trustees, been facing that Premiership suspension, back in today, and Trustee rolls it to Benjamin Arthur, who goes back to his goalkeeper. And then to Trustee again. We had wondered, Andy Halliday, how Celtic would shape up today. You thought perhaps a 3/5. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it certainly looks early on that it is Liam Scales playing as a left back. Interesting to see Julian Araujo on the other side. Looks as if he's trying to roam inside. Is that more inverted? But it certainly looks like a back four at this minute.
Araujo with a throw in on this near side. Pat, you played in so many of these fixtures. I think it was 60 odd. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, well, listen, you know, as a player, you want to get a first touch on the ball, you want to settle down, you're up for it. Obviously, your adrenaline's flowing. As a pundit or people, I'm a lot more relaxed these days, Liam. And this game, it could go either way, but it'll be really interesting. Hatate, I'm just looking at the midfield also. Hatate looks as if but I think McCowan's also sitting beside him. So I think Celtic have gone to almost 2 sitting players, with Nygren playing almost like a number 10.
Liam Scales over on the left side, rolls it down the line to Tenekti and gets it back, and now to Trustee. Celtic see most of the ball in the infancy here. Benjamin Arthur, he made his first start for the club at Pittodrie last Wednesday. Big afternoon for him as Yang finds Nygren to Araujo on the right side touchline. He's given it to Diamonde, who goes crashing into Araujo, who rolls on the deck in agony, and Mohamed Diamonde's been booked inside the opening 2 minutes here, Andy Halliday.
He's got that in his locker, Mohamed Diamonde. You know, it's a great turn away, but you can see that the ball's rolling away. Julian Araujo's favourite to get it, but he lunges in, certainly catches him, and I think he gives Don Robertson no other opportunity to give him that yellow card.
The only thing I'll say is that, you know, his response was looked as if it was a bad tackle, and then he got up very, very quickly after the referee give the free kick and booked Diamondi. So maybe he didn't catch him as badly as we could see up here, but he shouldn't go to ground so early in the game.
Tenecti picks up for Celtic wide on the left on the halfway line. It goes back to Trusty. It goes back to Wayami Sinisalo, who continues in goal. Played here last week, of course. 2-2 draw in the league. It's with Trusty. It's a long, raking left foot ball there by Trusty, and it's put Giga under pressure. He's done well with it though. Tenecti right behind him. A nice little turn away from the Celtic winger, and then he's brought down by Maida, and the Rangers fans are baying for a yellow card for Daisen Maida, having watched Diamondi pick one up a minute ago. It's back with Butland, who'll fire it out to loose with the ball, but he's managed to squeeze it to Romans despite Yang's best efforts. Romans crossing halfway out to Moore on this near side, pokes it back into his own half for Fernandez. He finds Raskan, who goes back to Nasser Giga as Rangers get their first real feel of the ball in the tie.
Yeah, I think Celtic started off quite well. The first couple of minutes of this game, just getting the ball, getting everybody to get a feel of it. They've worked the ball across from side to side. They played a few long balls, so all of that Celtic will be happy with, because that's not how they started off the game.
There's Nadiri, Rangers in an attacking position. Scovolson to Nadiri, right hand side of the box. Back out wide it goes to Sterling. Gets the cross in, but too high for Chermiti, and Romans at the back post couldn't quite turn it back along the 6-yard area, and it was behind off him for a goal kick to Celtic, which Sinisalo takes. The ticker tape from the away end still on the pitch just behind Sinisalo. He's trying to get rid of that now, but it was out for a Celtic throw in on this near side.
Yeah, that last cross, Liam, I was looking at the back post, and Rangers had two players. I don't know where Yang sort of ended up, but he ended up away inside, and Romans was coming up, and if it was a better cross, maybe more accurate, I think he was in on the back post all alone.
A really nice touch, Andy, from Nasser Giga, and he's done it again there against Maida, previously against Tenecti. That'll help him settle, I would have thought.
Yeah, he started the game well, like he says. If you've not played for
Here's a chance. Chermiti gets the break of the ball to the edge of the box, shuffles onto the right foot, and his effort goes well wide. Was he caught in the edge of the area though? Doesn't look as though a free kick's been given, but it's a goal kick only. Chermiti's lying on the 18-yard line in apparent agony here.
Well, my first instinct was certainly that it was a foul. I don't think there's any doubt that he was caught. Whether Don Robertson felt because he got his shot away that it didn't merit the free kick, but it was a good opportunity for Yusuf Chermiti. Worked on his right foot, 19 yards out. Well, tries to let fly, but certainly looked like he got caught, but Don Robertson doesn't think so.
Yeah, the only thing I could think about there, Andy, is that maybe the referee decided he was almost kicking through the ball and kicked into McCowan, but it certainly, and where it was right about half a yard outside the 18-yard line.
Celtic are 5 visits to Ibrox without a win. They've drawn 4 of those though, not been losing them, generally speaking. Lovely pirouette by Diamondi on the halfway line, nicking it out to the left for Moore. He's not going to get there, and Diamondi's gone down as if he's injured himself there. In the act of passing the ball, he's helped to his feet by the referee, and his teammate Raskan, he's looking like he's going to be okay. Almost 6 in, no goals. And the two teams just feeling their way into it. There's a ball back by Araujo to Arthur, back to Sinisalo, dinks it into the midfield. Nygren's chest takes it to Hatate, and now it's with McCowan. They want a handball there. McCowan under pressure. He's had it nicked off, and by Raskan he's found Moore. He's at full pace up towards the edge of the box, dancing into it. To Chermiti, blocked. Was it a handball in the box? It's cleared by Scales. The Rangers players surround Don Robertson. Andy Halliday's nodding as if that was a handball, and it could be that Rangers are going to be awarded a penalty here. We shall see.
Well, we don't get the beauty, Liam, of the replays, but listen, I think Benjamin Arthur, I think it is, he flings himself to try and block the shot, but it certainly looked like his arm was outstretched. I think you can see by Don Robertson put his hands up, this is going to be checked. It'll be interesting to see, but it looks waved on.
Yeah, game on, no penalty. So the VAR team, Andrew Dallas, Matty McDermott, are quite content with that on-field decision. So a throw in here for Sterling, level with the Celtic penalty spot, and it's bowled back to Giga, who plays it into the midfield for Diamande, sweeps it out to Robbins on the left. Rangers beginning to exert some authority in proceedings. In comes the chip ball into the area, and Sinisalo grabs on round about his penalty spot. It's Rangers nil, Celtic nil. 7 minutes played of the Scottish Cup quarter-final.
Yeah, good goalkeeping from Sinisalo. I like to see a goalkeeper. I know there was a straight ball, there was no bend on it, there was a straight ball in over top of the almost a penalty spot, but he comes out, gets high and clutches the ball, takes the pressure right off his two centre backs.
By all accounts, there was an outstretched arm there from Benjamin Arthur, but it's hit his other one, which was into his body, and it was Trusty rather than Arthur.
Yeah, that's good then. Listen, the other types of ones you don't want to see given his penalties when it is the arm that's tucked into the body. As we've seen, he certainly looked as if his left arm, I think it might have been, that was outstretched, but the fact it's not hit that arm.
Trusty's in trouble here. He's down. He was clutching the small of his back as Shamiti put the pressure on him. Shamiti tried to help him back to his feet, and he was swiftly told to get away by Trusty.
Yeah, I don't think there was really anything in it. It was just two bodies coming together, and one. You'd expect that in this type of game. So, yeah, Trusty maybe trying to overdo it. I've got to say.
Sinisalo for Celtic. A free kick, and was a foul, but not much else as Sinisalo rifles it forward with the right foot deep into the Rangers half. It goes. Maida flicks on, but there's an offside flag on this near side. Rangers free kick, which is taken quickly by Fernandes to Diamande, out to Moore on the near side. Diamande's been caught by McCowan. That's a free kick, and again the Rangers supporters are howling for a yellow card to be administered here. That's not going to happen. Luke McCowan with the challenge. And it's kind of under the microscope because Diamande was booked so early in proceedings. Giga goes long down the right side. Scales with a header. Tenecti can't control. It's out for a Rangers throw-in. So Celtic started brightly enough in the first couple of minutes, but Rangers really playing most of the game in the Celtic half right now.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, Liam. I think a Celtic's point of view, a big chat with Oxlade-Chamberlain not getting up to the pace of the game. I think Luke McCowan started similar, gave the ball away on 3 occasions already in the opening 9 minutes, gave away 2 fouls as well. But he certainly started the game better than last week, Celtic, that's for sure.
Giga rolls it back to Butland, under pressure from Maida. He just manages to get it away, and he's actually ended up playing a great ball out to Sterling on the right touchline, infield to the right of the centre circle. Raskan helps it on its way first time with the right foot. Araujo gets his head onto it, and it's clear by Arthur into the Rangers half, where it's controlled beautifully by Giga. He started the game really well. We heard Danny Rule talking about how well he's been training during the week, and that was according to the Rangers manager, to us at least. That's why he's in the team ahead of Suter. And another Rangers player down in the near side. Araujo with a challenge, and once more the derision coming from the home sections here as Fernandes this time went down.
Yeah, it was good footwork from him actually down the left hand side. It was a nice little off his right foot onto his left, and I think it was Araujo that went into the tackle, but yeah, just caught him. But the referee's letting it flow at the moment. He's not after that one booking.
Moore on the left, he's danced away from Araujo. McCowan's there and calmly rolls it along the byline to Araujo, who clears. Yang's flick though takes it straight to Raskan. Little chip in the box. Shamiti chases, can't get there, and it stays after 10.5 minutes. Rangers nil, Celtic nil here in Glasgow.
Yang's got to do much better there, Pat. He's got to secure the ball. You can't just flick it blindly into the middle of the pitch. It's a good idea for Nico Raskin, but just runs away for Yusuf Chermiti. I
agree totally, and I think he's just, I don't know, maybe to the pace of the game or just his decision making at the moment from Yang has been poor.
Celtic have it. Trusty to McCowan, out to the left. Scales midway inside his own half to Hatate. He's under pressure. He's lost it. Rangers have it with Sterling driving down the right side. Shamiti's waiting in the middle. There's a deep cross ball into the box, which comes all the way through to this near side. Shamiti races out to keep it alive. Rolls it to the left angle of the box for Moore. Under pressure from Nygren. And it's rolled back to Fernandes. Turns away from Maida. Square ball for Raskan just outside the centre circle. Still in the Celtic half to Skov Olsen. Back to Raskan. Out to Sterling on the right side. Down the line to the Dane. Skov Olsen up against Scales. Back up the line to Sterling. And then back to Raskan, who squares it for Giga. Rangers coming back to go forward here. It's forward to Nadiri. Rolls it back to Raskan. Then out to Sterling on the touchline, midway inside Celtic territory. Forward to Scott Olsen, first time to Sterling. Celtic can't get a kick of the ball right now.
Yeah, they're pinned back, aren't they? And Rangers are just keeping the ball, similar to what we've probably seen Celtic do in the past, but they're keeping it, they're taking their time, they're a bit of composure, and then of course goes back all the way to Butland, who plays it forward.
Romans leaped for that and leapt for that, and he ends up falling down and hurting himself.
Yeah.
Celtic throwing only on this near side, but level with the edge of the D of their own box. Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney are at the angle of the technical area down below us.
Yeah, it was a heavy fall, wasn't it? I think Aro just stood his ground, and Romans has just got up above him. There was a heavy fall.
Rolled forward to Maida, looking to get goal sided. Giga reacts very well again on this near side. Forward down the line to Romans, up to the halfway line. Nadiri to Moore, looks to return the favour, but Arthur's there for Celtic to turn it back to his goalkeeper. And out to Arthur on the right side. It's a poor ball forward. It's gone straight to Moore. He's driving into a central position here. Rolls it short to Skov Olsen. Sterling's over on the far side. That's where the pass goes. Sterling returns it to Skov Olsen, level with the 6-yard line, and it comes. Couldn't quite find Nadiri. Trusty heads away. Tenecti's clearance goes straight to Raskan. Here's Emmanuel Fernandez high up the pitch. Out wide left for Romans, level with the Celtic 18-yard line. Back to Raskan. And then back to Giga, who plays it to his right for Sterling, and a low ball out to Skov Olsen on that right side. Up against Scales. Skov Olsen back the way to Sterling. To Skov Olsen on the touchline. Back to Giga. And now Fernandez. Celtic looking to try and keep Rangers at arm's length here, but it's a lovely ball out to the right. Skov Olsen back in it comes and headed behind for the corner by Hatate. Rangers coming forward with menace. Celtic right now are just trying to keep them at bay.
It's really good football for Rangers. All 10 outfield players were within 30 yards of the Celtic goal there. Done well to just work it from side to side and find the free player in Skov Olsen. You've got to say it's good recovery defend for Hatate.
Corners rolled to the angle of the box for Moore. Back out to Skov Olsen, shuffles it onto his left foot, crosses poor, headed away by Nygren. Now Sterling will pick up the scraps here and roll it with the right foot out to the left side for Nadiri, up against Araujo, flicks it forward to Romans. Body check comes from Araujo though, but Romans really just ran into the Celtic fullback, and he goes behind for the goal kick and stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0 on 14.5 minutes.
Yeah, Celtic just pinned back and they can't get out, and the other thing is that's really interesting for me is that Maeda, who's playing centre forward, he's almost 30 yards from his own goal, so they've no out ball when they won it, and then when they do win it, just give it back again. There was a couple of times Scales, as talked about it before the game, tried to play a ball into Hatate. He was caught on it in midfield. Arthur couldn't get a ball under control, tried to play it in, and it was cut out, and it just allows Rangers to get a foothold in this game.
Long ball forward for Celtic. Maida wins the header. Nygren with another header goes down. The challenge from Raskan. The ref's happy with it. Nygren sitting on the deck with his arms outstretched, looking for a free kick that is not coming. It's now back with Butland, who plays it to Fernandez. Nice little flick by Maida, that, and just for a split second it looked as though Benjamin Nygren might be able to free himself and race in on goal, but no free kick.
Yeah, it was a good flick, and normally you don't expect that too much from Maeda's high up in the air, but he won it well. Nygren is more forward of the three midfielders, and it's very obvious that Hatate and McCowan's sitting deep, and Nygren is the one that's playing higher up the pitch.
Rangers have it with Giga. Level with the edge of the centre circle onto the touchline for Sterling, through for Sharmiti, tried to lay it out to Skov Olsen. Celtic win it back, and it's now with Trusty. And he goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. Sinisalo, short ball with the right foot to the left there for Trusty, goes back to Sinisalo. Rolls it along the right side of his box for Arthur, now with Araujo. Moore all over him. Araujo knocks it forward and can't find Yang, and it comes all the way back to Rangers possession with Nasser Giga on the ball. They're getting the centre backs, in particular Manuel Fernandez is getting high up the pitch at times. Giga under pressure from Maida, does get a toe onto Maida. Butland's able to get there, and then he launches it out to this near side. It's gone into touch for a throw-in to Celtic, and a little bit of respite for the Celtic defence, albeit Sinisalo's not really having saves to make. They have come under some intense pressure. Almost 17 in, no goals.
Yeah, there was a great ball played by El Rojo down the line, under pressure.
There's Nygren, and he's managed to nick it into Hatate, and then Hatate will attack the Rangers box here, changing pace, but he runs into Diamonde, and Moore picks it up again. Packy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and you know, he was waiting and hoping that Maeda would have made a run down the side of Diego because the space was there, and he's almost on his heels in the middle of the pitch, not even thinking about what he should be doing as a striker. And Rangers had easy. It was so easy for them then to control the ball and just build the game.
Moore was fouled there, and once more no yellow card. It's back with Fernandez. Chip ball right-footed, long, looking to try and get Moore in behind. Too much on it though. He zips through to Sinisalo, and then rolled out to Araujo on this near side. It's a long ball forward, looking for Nygren, overhit again. And they just don't, and Pat said it, Andy, Celtic do not have an out ball right now in the Rangers half.
No, they don't. I think Diza Maeda, for me, has got to work ball side. He's got to get closer to where the ball is, but it's Benjamin Nygren that tries to occupy that space, and that means it's just a straight ball for Junior Araujo. And then from there, it's obviously a much favourable ball for the Rangers centre-halves to deal with.
Shamiti trying to get onto it. Trusty with a challenge on the halfway line. Now it's McCowan to Tati. He gives it away this time. Diamonde picks up and goes back to Fernandez. He rolls it with the right foot out to the left side along the grass to Romans. Across the halfway line, right in front of the two managers who are both at the edge of their technical areas just now. Danny Rule with his arms folded. Martin O'Neill, as usual, is as animated as ever. So Tate picks it up for Celtic, goes back to Scales, tries to get himself away from Chermiti, and Scott Olsen does a good job actually, and is fouled, and that's a free kick to Celtic over on that far side. It remains goalless in the Scottish Cup quarter-final here at Ibrox, with Falkirk and Dunfermline already lying in wait in the last four. Tonight, live on the BBC Scotland television channel, it will be St Mirren against Partick Thistle, just down the road from here in Paisley. The draw for the semis follows the conclusion of that one. As Giga turns it back to Butland, who rifles it forward first time with the right foot, high into the air, flicked on by Sharmiti, and Nadiri could be in. He's in behind Trusty here. Nadiri, the Celtic defenders, getting back, and eventually a combination of Trusty and Araujo prevent Ryan Nadiri getting a run in on Sinisalo, and it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0. But that's really ominous for Celtic for sure. Just one long ball, Pat.
Yeah, he just didn't have maybe that dynamic pace to get away and get it under control. He was always going to be caught, and then it was just about trying to use his body strength.
Moore for Rangers on the left. Jan can't get there. It's Moore, gets the cross in, headed away by Trusty. Bouncing ball, back facing his own goal. Romans nods it back to Raskan. On the spin away from Nygren, finds Diamonde down the line for Moore. Diamonde, Romans continue their run. Moore with the ball into the box. Arthur covering across, and he's lost it. Romans has it. Romans in the box, pulls it back. The effort at goal's blocked. It was weak from Chermiti. Breaks to Moore at the edge of the area. His right foot shot is also blocked, and Celtic get away with it. Rangers 0, Celtic 0, but Rangers are banging on the door here.
Oh, it's poor defending though from Arthur, Benjamin Arthur. You've got to be, when you're in that position there, sure of what you're doing, and don't take chances, and he was really lucky to get away with it.
So beyond the 20-minute mark here, Rangers having most of the play. Celtic significantly weakened. If you imagine what the Celtic starting 11 would look like if they had all their players fit, Carter Vickers, Johnston included, it would be nothing like what is out there right now. As Fernandez picks up right of the centre circle, rolls it low with the instep out to Skov Olsen on the touchline. Now with Nadiri to Skov Olsen again, and down the line for Dujon Sterling, who tries to spin Scales. Now he's trying to beat him for pace. Scales brings him down. Rangers free kick, and a yellow will be coming here for the Celtic skipper for the day. Scales, and Rangers have a free kick about level with the Celtic 6-yard line on the right side of the box as they attack the goal to the left.
Well, I've been with them for the last sort of 4 or 5 minutes every time Skov Olsen gets the ball. Is when is he going to test Liam Scales in that position? Is as it does on Sterling when he gets it. It's the first time that Liam Scales has been tested in that area. There's been a few fouls in the opening 20 minutes, but you've got to say Don Robertson, the time he's produced the 2 yellow cards, I think they've both been valid. Yeah, definitely a yellow card. He took him out. He had to take him out because he was done. And if
he allowed him to get to the byline, I think then there was going to be a chance. This is a chance for Rangers from a set piece, and Celtic under a lot of pressure in this opening 20 minutes.
Mikey Moore stands over it. Celtic have everyone back to defend it. A couple of Rangers players waiting on the 18-yard line. It's Moore though, it's straight into the box, and Fernandes is not far away as it sails over everyone and out to this near side. Robbins can't keep it in play on this near side. Celtic have a throw-in, but Celtic have a problem here. Martin O'Neill has a problem here because they cannot get a kick. It's 0-0. We played almost a quarter of the quarter. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Sorry, Andy. I was saying, when Celtic get the ball, that ball down the channel is on all the time. There was one moment a wee while ago where Fernandes went all the way into midfield from Negrin, and it was a 1v1 with Jiga and Maeda, and Jiga came out on top. It's on, play it down there, don't take chances, and get yourself higher up the pitch and start putting Rangers under a little bit more pressure in their own half. But they're not doing it. They're trying to build the game through the thirds of the pitch, and Rangers are just pressing and winning the ball back every single time.
Julian Araujo took a throw and threw it straight out of the park. Robbins takes it for Rangers, and then Maeda wins it back in the midfield. Now Negren stretching his legs in the centre circle, rolls it out wide left for Sebastian Tenekte, who's up against Dujon Sterling. The sun breaks through the clouds above here in Glasgow. It's out to the left side for Scales, rolls it back to Hatate, and then into the centre circle for Austin Trusty. Trusty out to Julian Araujo on this near side, up the line for Yang. And this ball comes back to Arthur, who shifts it right to left of the circle inside his own half to Trusty. Forward there to McCowan, running at the centre spot, finds Hatate as he fires it through. Now out to Tenekte wide on the left side. Negrin, Maeda and Yang waiting in the middle. Can they get a cross in though? He's played it back to Scales. Forward to McCowan, it's not a great touch. Goes after it again. Diamonde emerges with it though for Rangers and finds Sharmiti midway inside his own half. He's managed to nick it out to this near side for Mikey Moore, who's briefly goal side of Araujo, who gets back in front of him now, and Mikey Moore has it. He's attacking Araujo down this left side. This was a Celtic attack. Rangers though have the ball up the pitch midway inside Celtic territory. Moore rolls it back to Raskan. Raskan has got Sterling to his right, turns back in field and finds Diamonde instead. Diamonde's low ball with the left foot out to Robbins, and then back it comes to Fernandes, who plays it short to Raskan. The movement ahead of him. Instead he plays it to the right of the centre circle for Giga, and now it's with Fernandes again. And then back to Giga. 0-0 at Ibrox as Moore fires it first time out to Sterling. It's a great ball. Sterling forward, blocked by Scales, breaks back to Sterling, down the line for Skov Olsen. Scales out of position. Hatate facing Skov Olsen. He'll concede the corner, will Hatate? As Skov Olsen made for the byline. Hatate puts the challenge in, and Rangers have their latest corner as we approach the 25-minute mark at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
The last corner that Rangers got decided to take it short. I'd be extremely surprised if they'd done that again, given their prowess with set pieces this season. No doubt this one will get in the box.
Andreas Skov Olsen's over it. A couple of Rangers players in the 18-yard line. Nadiri's at the back post. It's fired in and it's headed away by Scales decisively. Moore picks up. Right foot ball in is cut out, and it breaks Hatate's way. He's done well to scramble it forward to Negren. Maeda and Yang are on their bikes. Negren goes to ground, fouled by Moore. No card, but it is a Celtic free kick left of the centre circle. And Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney are having a word there with Callum Scott, the fourth official down below us.
Yeah, it was. I thought it could have been a booking, to be honest, because if he evaded a tackle, I think Rangers were in trouble, because there was a lot of movement down this right-hand side from Yang and from Maeda, and I think that was going to be the next pass.
So much riding in this. Whoever comes through this quarter-final is going to be big favourites to lift the Scottish Cup. There's no question about that. Whoever loses it, it's going to potentially extremely negative impact on the rest of the season, with this title battle recommencing next week. Hearts are at Kilmarnock, Celtic host Motherwell, Rangers go to St Mirren. It is Yang to Hatate. Hatate against Diamonde, shifts it out to the left there for Scales, who's bombing forward. Liam Scales, Diamonde's gone down off the ball. Celtic play on. Scales rolls it back down the line to Tenekte. Infield to McCowan. McCowan looking for a teammate in green and white hoops ahead of him, plays it out to the left for Tenecti. Scales is on the touchline. Tenecti facing 3 Rangers players, is to shift it back to McCowan. McCowan to Hatate. It's a little bit too pedestrian from a Celtic point of view. It's McCowan back out wide, it goes to Scales. He's got some space, takes the touch, crosses in. Maida dives low and it comes off Giga, and Celtic of their first corner of the Scottish Cup derby here. 27 in at 0-0.
Yeah, I think Diamondi's shoulders come out. I think he's gone down, but Negrin also hobbling after that initial tackle. But it looked like that Diamondi's shoulder has gone back in again. But he looked in trouble. But he's going to play on. For me, and I don't know what you. It looked at very suspicious. There was going to be a sort of a shoulder.
Can you just pop it back in just like that? Yeah.
He's a braver man than me to do that. That's for sure.
Corner Celtic. McCowan over it. Out swinger with the left foot over on the Govan stand side as they attack Colton Road, and it comes looking for Scales. It's headed away by Fernandez, and that'll be another corner. McCowan takes. Seen some really poor dead ball deliveries in recent weeks.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly a great delivery, but Rangers don't deal with it in the near post. It evades a few. Manuel Fernandez has to clear just under the crossbar, but they got a second opportunity now.
McCowan again, second chance. Left footed, more meat on that one. It's flicked away out to the edge of the box. Yang's onto it. Yang taking on Sharmiti. Have to be careful there just inside the box. Sharmiti comes out to attack Yang on the near side. Yang gets the better of him, goes down. Is he getting the free kick? No, he's not. Rangers will play on here. Down the left side with Yusuf Sharmiti. Steps inside, didn't field away from McCowan and switches the play from left to right looking for Scott Olsen. Well read by Tenecti, though he wins it back, and now he drives forward down the left side. Tenecti against Sterling. Raskan's there too. Tenecti rolls it back under pressure to Hatate, squares it infield to McCowan, back to the left for Hatate, back to the left of the centre circle for Trusty in the Rangers half, and it's Hatate to the right of the circle for Arthur, and then to Trusty. It is Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
I think Celtic just starting to come into the game a little bit more, having a bit more controlled possession. They've obviously had their 2 back-to-back corners, but you always felt when Rangers were on top, they have to try and score. They have to get a goal to change the momentum of the game again, because we've seen what this Martin O'Neill side can do when they're not playing at their best.
Well, Rangers were 2-0 up by this point last week in the league meeting. 2 up after 26 minutes. We played 29. It remains goalless. The Scottish Cup quarter-final. Here on Sportsound, BBC Radio Scotland, on digital, online at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland, on FM medium wave. It is all eyes, all ears on this monumental battle to get into the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup. It's out of play over on the far side for a Rangers throw-in, and Dujon Sterling is over it. Just inside his own half, he bowls it back to Giga, who in turn goes back to Butland. And he's going to launch it forward with the left foot out to this left side. It comes for Rangers. Romans and Araujo collide, and then go head to head. And noses touching as they smile at each other in disdain. Throw in Celtic. It doesn't take much in this fixture to light the blue touch paper, Andy Halliday.
It doesn't, and I must admit, Liam, I don't mind it either. It's good to see Don Robertson just wave it off. No, it's a bit of petulance for both players. Let it go, and it's good defending for Joe and Araujo. It just ushers 2 Romans under the ball and lets it go out for a throw-in.
Araujo with the throw-in, flicked on by Yang. Maida can't get onto it now. It breaks to Giga. We're on the half hour. As Butland charged down by Maida, he does get onto that, but it goes out to play for a Rangers throw-in on the far side. That's a couple of times that Jack Butland's just delayed the clearance and has almost paid a price, and Maida got even closer this time, Packy.
Yeah, listen, you know Maida's going to chase everything down, and you know that before the game. So, and you can't be slack. You've got to get your pass away quick and sharp, and he didn't do that. He just delayed and allowed Maida. He could have went anywhere, that ball, actually, when he blocked it.
Diamonde for Rangers forward into the Celtic half, but it was met by Araujo, got there ahead of Moore, lifts it long forward into the Rangers half, breaks to Diamonde, goes down. McCowan's challenge, no foul. In fact, it is a foul. Don Robertson just delayed that decision for a moment, perhaps seeing there was an advantage. Rangers free kick just to the right of the centre circle inside their own half. And it's going to be left for Nikola Raskan to take this one, I think. Albeit Giga ends up nicking in and turning it to Fernandez. And walking pace up to the halfway line, crosses into Celtic territory and rolls it to the left for Moore, who goes back to Fernandez. And then square to Raskan, he's popped up in between the two centre-backs. Long ball from the Belgian. Is he asking too much of Sterling? Yes, he is. Sails behind for the goal kick. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. The one thing you would say is that Rangers at that period from about 5 minutes in to about 15, 20 minutes, and they've kind of fallen off it a little bit, and Celtic have seen more of the ball.
They have, definitely. I think Celtic started the game with a lot of intensity off the ball. They tried to press Rangers high up the pitch, and I thought Rangers just bypassed it pretty well. I think over the last 5 or 10 minutes, Celtic have sat off the game a little bit more, asked Rangers to try and break them down. At this moment in time, they've not managed to do so. I think it's been a pretty even game so far. Not much in the way of glaring opportunities, but I'm sure that's going to come, Liam.
5th meeting of the season between these two. They've both won one apiece, couple of draws. Celtic, of course, winning the League Cup in the semi-final. Rangers won at Celtic Park. The two here have been drawn. As Diamonde picks up, turns away from McCowan. It goes down as Diamonde. Claim there, McCowan had a little pull at him. Celtic get it away in the Rangers half, where Giga helps them on its way up to the halfway line. McCowan's onto it, takes it down and finds Yang looking to spring Araujo down the right side. Araujo taking him out to this near side. He's level with the Rangers penalty spot. Low ball into the box. It's with Yang. Yang Hyun-jun tries to get to the Bylans into the setup at the corner as it comes off either Raskan or Romans. It will be a corner on this near side. For Celtic, it is 0-0. We played 33 and a half.
Yeah, that's why Celtic are getting into better positions higher up the pitch. But I'm not sure if they can almost know what they're going to do with the ball. They're even there. Yang gets the ball in a great position. Does he shoot? Does he try to beat the player? He elected to go and try and beat him. He didn't win his corner, but it was a great position to be in.
There's not been any real big chances in the game yet. And Celtic conjure one up here. It's McCowan with the corner. It's a good delivery. It's a good header away by Fernandez. Out to this near side. McCowan picks it up, takes a touch and crosses in. Scales gets the flag. It's in. Celtic score. Dijsselmander scores. And Celtic are in front. It's a brilliant ball in. Scales with the most crucial of flicks. And Maida at the back post knocks it home off Butland, off the post, and Celtic lead at Ibrox with the final 10 minutes of the first half upon us in the Scottish Cup quarter-final. It is Rangers 0, Celtic 1.
Just when I said Celtic didn't have a lot of ideas.
Possible offside though, Packy, so we'll just wait and see what happens there, Pat.
Yeah, could be, but it was, obviously comes back out from the initial corner, comes out to McCowan, and he plays that ball back in. Scales just been in the right area in the right time, gets first contact, flicks it on, and there was 2 or 3 players coming into the back post for Celtic. Butland, I'm not sure whether he could have maybe just knocked it away. He got 2 hands to the ball, and it goes in off the post.
Yeah, it comes back out. Celtic got a second opportunity to put the ball in the box. Luke McCowan arguably underhits it, but Liam Scales does ever so well to just divert it towards the back post. And Dijsselmader's alive to the danger. Rangers defenders aren't. And I must say, to me, it looks as if Jack Butland gets 2 strong hands on it. You're expecting him to turn it around the post, but it turns it the inside of the post and it just kisses it and goes into the back of the net. Rangers didn't make their pressure count and get that opening goal. And now it's Celtic to take the lead here today.
The offside check, though, is ongoing. So we'll wait to see. We don't have replays, we don't have monitors here, so I'm afraid we can't give you any more on that. It's Andrew Dallas and Matthew McDermott who are on VAR duties. And clearly, it must be pretty tight because this is going on for a little while now. Raskan and Diamonde are having a chat with Don Robertson, the referee. It's perhaps Liam Scales who they're looking at.
I thought Liam came to the ball. I thought he was well onside. Liam Scales is interesting.
Oh, it's offside.
Yeah, it's offside, no goal.
Wow.
Well, It's a huge let-off for Rangers for sure. Celtic thought they'd taken the lead. It's been wiped out after the VAR check. Offside given, and it stays. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. Another moment of drama in the Scottish football season. And now it's the Rangers fans, three sides of Ibrox, Andy Halliday, who are celebrating.
Yeah, it's a let-off for Rangers. I must admit, I agree with Pat. I thought when the offside check was going on, it must have been on my head. It looked as if Liam Scales was well ahead of the ball, but that being said, Celtic certainly came into it the last 5 minutes or so. It was a period of pressure, and it's a let-off for Rangers. They have to try and weather that little mini storm that came their way and get back to playing their game.
Yeah, as I said, unfortunately they're unable to give you any analysis after having seen replays. We don't have monitors here, but here come Rangers after that little shot in the arm that's just been given. Sterling winning the header on the right. He is charging after that. Scales will have to be careful. Scales goes down looking to buy the free kick. I don't think he's going to get one. No, it's a Rangers corner. And that's just whipped the Rangers supporters up in a frenzy here.
Do you know what? It's superb for Dujon Sterling. It's him that flicks it in behind with the head, and he just chases it. He just follows it on. Liam Scales a wee bit too lackadaisical for me to try and deal with the situation. Dujon Sterling forces him into the area, concedes a corner. Can they punish?
Taken short by Skov Olsen to Moore, back to Skov Olsen wide in the right. Now the cross will come into the Celtic box. The header from Giga loops over the bar, and it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0. We played 38 minutes, no goals, and Celtic, Pat, denied.
Yeah. Listen, that's what VAR's for. It's there. If it's in normal circumstances, probably that goal would have been given. But that's what VAR's for, and it goes both ways, to be honest.
Sinisalo then with the goal kick.
Yeah, just looking at the picture here, and it does look as if he's coming from an offside position. The only thing I would say is when that ball's been struck, yeah, he's almost, his back foot is in an offside position.
Yeah, and it's a good spot by VAR. No way. Oh, he's in.
Yeah, Maida chasing this. Butland comes and gets there just before the Japan international flops onto it as that ball was dinked in behind the Rangers centre-backs.
Yeah, good position from Butland. You're in a position where you've still got to protect your goal, but you pick up the right position where you can come out to the edge of your box and just get it with Maeda's pace too. I thought he might have been a little bit short, but he read it well.
Ascan looking to play in his countryman Romans. Araujo will see it behind for the goal kick though. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. 6 minutes of the first half to play, at least the 45, and a little bit added on top of that.
I think Raskin's right to be frustrated there. I think Joe Romans has to give him an option on the ball. He's running at pace into Celtic bodies. I was just about to say though, we sat in the gantry last week, we praised VAR because none of us seen the infringement of Dujon Sterling handball. But once you've seen the pictures, it was clear as day. We obviously just seen another good example there with the offside call.
Yeah, I know Arsene Wenger's looking at changing the offside rule. I think they can play with that in Canada, see how that goes. Nygren looks for Maida, but he's overhit it. It's a poor ball. Butland is onto it, but I think the Wenger rule, or at least he's trying to implement it, the whole body would have to be offside for it to be given as offside. That there would not be offside if that rule is changed and that suggestion from Arsene Wenger comes to fruition.
Yeah, I hate to see the ones where you're almost like as an inch in it, and maybe that's why they're trying to change it, because it's at times it's very unfair.
Nygren goes down, no foul. It's out the play though for a Celtic throw-in. Fernandes irate with that decision. Nygren is wanting a free kick. He's going to have to settle for the throw on this near side. There's certainly been a renewed vigour and life about Celtic after those opening 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, I think they've been much more aggressive in this game, and there's been a lot of fouls and tackles, but that's what sometimes you have to get in about it and don't let the opposition dictate the game, which they did last week. And I think that was probably a message from the manager too, and that.
Goalless at Ibrox. It is Trusty left of the Celtic box, out to the touchline for Scales, down the line for Tinekti, sweeps it in field for McCowan, little header forward, goes straight to Giga. Fernandes is out of position at the moment. He's been up the pitch quite a lot, and Celtic failed to take advantage, although it's given away dreadfully by Giga, and now it's picked up by Araujo wide in the right, looks to cross in, blocked by Diamonde. Araujo gets another chance, but he's let it go out for the throw. level with the Rangers 18-yard line on this main stand side.
I think he's been excellent the opening 40 minutes. The Celtic right back, again anticipating that ball for Giga, set Celtic back on their way in the counter-attack. I think he started the game ever so well, especially given Mikey Moore was a standout for Rangers in the first half last weekend. Certainly the Celtic right back's on top just now.
He's been a decent replacement for Alistair Johnston, who's still a big miss for Celtic, but there's no sign of Johnston coming back into the reckoning. Celtic took the throw and have worked it all the way back into their own half. As Trusty picks up and rolls it into the centre circle for McCowan, and now to Hatate and to Trusty. I think the Celtic fans would have been concerned when they were watching the opening quarter of this game, but okay, the goal that they scored has been ruled out for offside, but they'll certainly be more optimistic, although that's not helping their causes. Tenecti's robbed by Sterling, who's now ploughing his way forward into the Celtic half. In comes the ball for Jermiti, touches it over the bar. Clever effort though, 7 yards from goal at the right angle of the 6-yard box. Just got a little bit too much on it. It's over the bar, it's a goal kick. It's Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Well, I just mentioned the Celtic right back, Pat, and for me it's been the two right backs have been the best players on the pitch so far. Poor for Sebastian Tenecti, Daly's on the ball, Dujon Sterling on the front foot, nicks it. I'm watching Rangers players though, they have to anticipate Dujon Sterling winning that ball and get forward quicker in the attack. Dujon Sterling whips in a dangerous ball, finds Yusuf Chamiti. It's a difficult one on his left foot, tries to guide it towards goal but just over the bar.
The change in football. If that was any player that I played with and Tenecti doing what he did there, he would have got an absolute blast from the likes of Roy Aitken or Peter Grant or those guys. So slack, giving the ball away in a very dangerous position for allowing Sterling to break forward and creating that chance.
And Ryan Adiri's been quite quiet again this afternoon. He's gone down, no foul. Celtic have it back. McCowan nicks it to Tenecti to his left. Tenecti then to McCowan, and Celtic have a man down. McCowan wants play to stop, and the referee's going to allow that. It's Rio Hatate, I think, who's down and in pain. So a little stoppage in play here will add to the stoppages that will be bolted on at the end of this first half. Remember, extra time and penalties if required. Would be no surprise if that is where this lands, because there's not actually that much between them.
No, there's not. You know, last week was a game of two halves, and today looks as if it could be the game of 4 quarters, because I thought Rangers started the first half ever so well, but for me Celtic have came into it over the last 10 minutes or so. Still 1 minute plus injury time remaining though. If someone can get a goal, it'd be a huge goal at such a crucial time in the game before half time.
It's back with Sinisalo. His own box, rolls it to the left for Trusty. Pat didn't like the decision from the goalkeeper. It's a long ball forward.
It's a horrible ball because it's played behind the defender. He's got to adjust his body, and by the time he does that, he's under pressure.
And Moore with a header towards the Celtic box. Nadiri can't get onto it. Scales is there, plays it off Skov Olsen, and out for a Celtic throw-in, level with their own penalty spot over on that left-hand side.
It looks uncomfortable out there, Liam Scales. I don't know if you agree, Pat.
Yeah, I agree.
Every time he's getting square balls with straight pressure for Skov Olsen, and he doesn't have any players to bounce off us. Sebastian Tenetti's trying running behind. I think he just needs to try and take the ball at his feet, just relieve pressure from himself.
But that's what I said before the game. Liam Scales best when he's inside playing a ball out into that space. When he's out in that space trying to play a ball, it's very, very difficult for him. So I feel really sorry for him, actually.
We're into 1 minute of stoppage time. I thought there'd be a little bit more on top of that.
Yeah, agreed.
With the VAR check in particular, thought that would have been a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure if it was the end of the game there'd be some disgruntled sides for both sides, but half time.
So Rangers looking to make one last opportunity here before the half-time whistle. Got about 30 seconds of the 1 minute that was added on left to play. Moore with a free kick over on the right, level the edge of the centre circle. Long ball pumped into the Celtic box, beats to Nadiri. Sinisalo saves, and Jermiti offside anyway. Yusuf Jermiti's right in front of the goal. Sinisalo kept him out. It's not going to go down in the annals as a save, but it will do his confidence, I'm sure, no harm at all to have made that block from Yusuf Jermiti after Nadiri had initially won it. The Celtic defending again from the set play is not too clever at all.
No, just they can't outmuscle Rangers in those positions. That's half time. But that was a big save. Fair play to Sinisalo.
It's in the melting pot, no question about that. Rangers started brightly, didn't really test Sinisalo though when they were on top in the game. Celtic did have the ball in the net through Dyson Maida. Lovely ball in by McCowan, flicked on by Scales. Maida attacked it at the back post, came off Butland, hit the post, ended up in the net. Celtic thought they were in front, ruled out for an offside against Liam Scales, whose left boot, having coming back from an offside position, was just the wrong side of the defender, and it didn't count. And that's really, with regards, there's been plenty of endeavour out there, lots of energy, lots of excitement for the supporters, but it's been a game of few opportunities really. You know, gilt-edged chances haven't really come to pass in the game, and it could well be that it's the long afternoon here for everyone. Extra time and penalties is possible. Still 45 minutes to come though, and as ever you can't really take your eyes off it. Half time at Ibrox in the third of the Scottish Cup quarter-finals is Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Rangers versus Celtic.
The Scottish Cup, live on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
Six nations.
One winner. Decided on a single day. And Scotland are ready to go. Super Saturday sees Scotland head to Dublin on the final day of the Six Nations Championship. Can Gregor Townsend's men find their first win in 9 years against Ireland? Live coverage of the Six Nations this Saturday afternoon from 1:30 on BBC Radio Scotland Extra and Sounds.
So half-time at Ibrox, Rangers 0, Celtic 0 in the English FA Cup. 20 minutes in, Port Vale 0, Sunderland 0. They're right into, in fact now, started stoppage time at Craven Cottage. Fulham 0, Southampton 0, but I gather Southampton have just been awarded a penalty in that one. Although it's just disappeared from the screen, so we'll keep an eye on that if you are interested in those scorelines. But of course, mainly focused on what is happening at Ibrox Stadium. Highlights tonight on Sports Scene. The later one, 10:30 BBC One Scotland, but that will follow the live coverage of the one remaining quarter-final between St Mirren and Partick Thistle. That's 7:15 live in the BBC Scotland channel, followed by the draw for the semi-finals. Falkirk and Dunfermline are there. It will be either St Mirren or Partick Thistle, and of course it will be either Rangers or Celtic. 45 minutes in, we're no closer to knowing which of those two will emerge. Tom English is there. What have you made of the opening 45 minutes, Tom?
It's a battle. It's pretty ugly. The 45 minutes that we had a week ago seemed like 100 years ago. yeah. Because that was quality, and the second half was very good too. But this was just a lot of collisions, a lot of misplaced passes, a lot of energy, a lot of hustle and bustle, no real quality, composure. It's just a scrap. It's a real scrap, and no shots on target, so no saves. A goal, disallowed goal, obviously rightly disallowed. And that's kind of, I'm hoping it improves, Richard, because I've got a big piece to write afterwards, and it's really not giving me much copy in that first half.
No, there's not an awful lot to occupy you, and no real concern, no real controversy over the goal that was ruled out. I think it was Scales trailing foot. There was one of the Rangers central defenders, it may have been Sheik, it may have been Fernandez. I did wonder if he might have played him on, but they've drawn the lines, and that trailing foot is what is done for Scales. I think Maida was fine at the far post when he finished, but Scales offside, and when you see it as clearly as that, then there is really no argument, is there?
No, I don't think there is any argument. I mean, that was Celtic's first attempt on goal.
Yeah, and it followed soon after their first corner as well.
First corner, and actually before that, I don't think they had many touches in the not to mind chances. I don't think they had many touches inside the Rangers penalty area at that time. I mean, they might have had two or three maybe. I was looking at the stats coming in. So really, it was kind of out of the blue. Disallowed, but it was out of the blue. So it's very, very tight. Very, very hard to call. I would say maybe marginally Rangers are on top. that's not reflected in terms of chances. It's not like Sidisawa was making brilliant saves, or Celtic are under stress. So both sides' use of the ball is really poor. I mean, it's just frenetic stuff, you know.
There was an early claim by Rangers, potential penalty, but it was Austin Trusty, and his arm was tucked in his right hand. It was the ball strike. I mean, there was nothing doing in terms of that one. I mean, it is remarkable, and it just shows you. I mean, Danny Rose saying beforehand, forget all about last week. It has no part to play in what is about to unfold. And I guess he's got it right. But when you think of how buoyant Rangers were 7 days ago at half-time, going in after a stunning performance and a 2-0 advantage, it is amazing. And maybe that's played a part in the fact that Celtic have been a bit more contained this afternoon, have been able to dampen down anything at Rangers, because they have dominated the ball for the most part, Rangers, haven't they?
They have, yeah. They have. I mean, I don't know what the possession is, 51% or something like that, Rangers, but they haven't done much with it. I mean, you think like a week ago we had the most outrageous overhead kick, and we had that second goal from Chermiti, which was just pure cheek and pure brilliance. We haven't had anything resembling that. So it's poor. It's a poor fare, but Celtic will be pleased because they've avoided that horror start that they had a week ago. I think Rangers will be frustrated that they haven't had any chances really, compared to last week where they had 3 or 4 and scored 2. So you know, it's all to play for here. It's still hard to call, isn't it? I mean, Celtic without McGregor, they're doing fine. They're 0-0. They're doing fine, but no better than that really.
No, actually, just looking back at last week, my notes at half-time were considerably longer than the ones I've been required to scribble down after the opening 45 minutes. So it is 0-0. Incidentally, Ross Stewart, the Scotland striker, scored that penalty for Southampton. So they, I guess, will be heading to victory in the FA Cup tie against Fulham. Still waiting to find out who will head to victory here. And of course, there is the potential for extra time, for penalties. Tom, does it feel right now that seems like the most likely outcome?
You wouldn't second guess it, but you wouldn't write it off.
You're really hedging your bets this afternoon, aren't you?
Yeah. Maybe I'm getting a bit of common sense in my old age, Richard. I mean, it's impossible. You're trying to predict the future here. We can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I suspect somebody is going to score in the second half. But if you were to say to me this is going to go to penalties, I wouldn't disagree with you. Because there's very little between them. There is very little between these two teams. And Rangers will be frustrated by that because Celtic are missing so many top names. Rangers should be on top.
That being the case, did Celtic take more out of that half than Rangers did?
I think so. I think so, yeah. Even though Celtic have not played well, they haven't carried much of a threat. You know, the Maeda disallowed goal aside, they really haven't had no shots on target, neither have Rangers. But I think Celtic will be happier that they've got to half-time. They haven't conceded. Maybe Rangers are getting a bit frustrated. Maybe the crowd here is getting a bit frustrated. All of those things you could say are ticks in the box for Celtic. But it's still 0-0, and it's impossible to call.
Pat Bonner, Celtic haven't created an awful lot, they haven't threatened an awful lot, but they did of course have the ball in the net, albeit it was disallowed. Does that give them a little bit of hope, encouragement for the second half?
Yeah, well listen, it was a set piece and you don't see Celtic scoring too many set pieces. It was one of those, but it was called offside, so it doesn't really matter. Celtic got pinned back. I think they started off the game and I thought, Celtic could actually come up and control this game for a while, but so quickly they got pinned back almost to the edge of their 18-yard box. They had no out ball made. They just dropped off almost 30-40 yards from goal, and every time they wanted, they just kept giving it back to Rangers. Rangers pinned them in, but that might be down to the lack of players that they have today. Might be down to McGregor not playing in his normal position. So it's a different maybe strategy to sort of frustrate Rangers a little bit, but they don't look as, even when they get high up the pitch, they don't look as if they've got players who can. They're relying on Tonecti to do a wee bit maybe out on the left-hand side. Yang on this side hasn't really done anything else. You don't expect Maeda to kind of get into positions where like a normal striker would be. What he does really well is he chases things down. He did a couple on Butland, and that's why he's there.
There's no cohesion from either of them. But no. Celtic, the amount of misplaced passes by Celtic is probably outweighing Rangers. But neither of them are very good at possession at all. And no. Celtic, they've had no momentum. They're not able to keep hold of the ball for long enough to build anything.
No, that ball I talked about before the game is still on, I think, down the sides. But Maeda, at times, when the ball's in, say, in the right back position, and Arroyo has actually played very well in the game. I thought he's worked hard, he's nullified Mikey Moore, and he's got himself forward. But when he gets the ball, he's looking for that ball down the channel. But Maeda's almost sitting in the centre circle, and he needs to make those runs, because that's where the space is. Because they pushed Romans forward. They've got two centre halves. He has to work those two centre halves, and that then, when they do that allows them to get up a wee bit higher up the pitch. But they're pinned back, and they were pinned back for a good period in that first half. As the game went on, and Rangers got a bit probably frustrated because they didn't create anything, and they just allowed Celtic to come back into it, and Celtic then just kept the ball a little bit better. But nothing really much more than that, I've got to say.
And the onus on Rangers to try to create a bit more in terms of clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities?
Yeah, I think so. I think what's natural in this fixture is both teams are going to have periods, but when Rangers had their period in the opening 25 minutes or so, they never created any real clear-cut chances. In fact, their two best chances of the game probably come in the last 5 minutes, where I thought Celtic were in the ascendancy at that minute in time. Last week the big difference was Martin O'Neill bringing on substitutes. It'd be interesting to see if Rangers go to their bench at half-time here, because for me, Diamandi's been asked to do a man-for-man job in the middle of the pitch. He's had to be industrious. He's going to need to make fouls, and the fact that he's on a booking, and it's a player that's already been sent off twice this season, so it'll be interesting if Danny Rose looking at potential early subs in that respect. And here, as I've said, that Chutwani's just jogged out the tunnel to warm up, so I wonder if that's going to be a change that's made pretty soon.
And would that make sense, that particular substitution? Yeah,
it would for me. Like I said, I thought Chutwani would feel disappointed not to start the game. I thought he played well last week. And listen, Diamandi lunged into a challenge after 2 minutes, and from then on in, especially this fixture, where there's going to be loose balls, there's going to be tackle, there's going to be fouls. I think it's a big risk to continue to play a player that, like I said, has got previous have been sent off in big fixtures. So listen, I don't think Chutwani's going to be somebody that's going to come in and be the difference in the final third for Rangers. So I think Rangers still need to expect more for the players at the top end of the pitch. Like I said, I think Julian Araujo's nullified Mikey Moore really well on this side. I think Scott Olsen has to test Liam Scales more, given he's on a booking on that side. And I must say, I think Ryan Nadiri, for me, I think he needs to offer a little bit more than he's shown in the opening 45 minutes.
Diamandi also looked as if he was injured. He went down holding his shoulder from, I don't think it was, and I thought his shoulder came out at that point and maybe went back in, so he may have an injury also. So I think that could be probably an enforced change as much as a tactical change.
Going to find out just how things are altered at half-time, and of course once the action gets up and running again. Do look out for full live coverage of St Mirren against Partick Thistle tonight, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. That's followed at 10:30 with all your Scottish Cup quarter-final highlights, sports scene on again then on BBC One Scotland. In the week ahead, the usual Monday publication of the SPFL Roundup. It's a great package with all the goals from the Championship Leagues 1 and 2. Get that online at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. Monday to Friday, the Scottish Football Daily podcast is published. You should subscribe if you want to hear every episode of that. And in terms of the rest of the week, Championship Live, Friday night, BBC Scotland, Greenock Morton against Partick Thistle. So that's on the telly next Friday. Here on the radio, we are midway through this encounter between Rangers and Celtic. It is finely balanced. Rangers with the best probably of the opening half, certainly in terms of edging possession. Celtic did have the ball in the net through Dyson Maeda. It was disallowed through an offside against Scales, who had flicked it on for his teammate to net, but that's been it in terms of real solid goalmouth action. A few flurries. There was a save just towards the end from Sinisalo, but Chermiti was ruled offside, and therefore the save does not go down in the record books. It is very finely balanced indeed. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. No, the visitors are back out. The Rangers players just heading out as well. Both these sides knowing that the next 45 minutes could have a defining factor in terms of the remainder of their season. If nothing happens in terms of one or the other snatching the advantage, then off we go to extra time and potentially penalties as well. Promises to be as dramatic as ever. It's live here on Sports Sound, excuse me, on BBC Radio Scotland with Pat Bonner, Andy Halliday and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, and Pochi Chukwani will be coming on for Rangers, presumably for Diamonde, who replaced him in the starting 11. Still waiting on the Rangers players to come back out. The first time they've met at this specific stage of the Scottish Cup since 2004. Martin O'Neill, during his 5-year spell as manager, Henrik Larsson scoring the only goal, and it was a pretty uneventful game. It's the last time in the quarter-finals, and as I said in the first half, Celtic haven't won a Scottish Cup tie at Ibrox since 1957, though they've only been here 3 times since their last victory here in the tournament. Of course, that memorable 2-2 draw in February 2011, Scott Brown, El Hadj Diouf and all that. And Celtic went through after the replay as Chukwani comes on, and it does appear as though Diamonde has not reappeared for the second half. Chukwani has looked good since arriving at the club. Celtic have only won 3 of their previous 14 visits to Ibrox. Rangers have only won this competition once in 17 years. They've got past Annan and Queen's Park to get here. Celtic have come past Auchinleck, Talbot and Dundee. We needed extra time in the latter, and it will be Rangers who kick off the second half of the third quarter-final, shooting from left to right towards Copeland Road. And Raskan rolls it back all the way to Butland. Rangers in the blue shirts, white shorts, black socks, with Celtic in the green and white hoops. The long ball from Butland's headed away by Arthur. It's off the head of Rommins up towards the edge of the Celtic box. Scott Olsen gets a nod onto it. Trusty heads clear. Sterling collides with Tinecte, and it's going to be a Rangers free kick, and it's in a good attacking position here, just on the cusp of the final third.
Yeah, it's a loose ball, and Dujon Sterling just gets there first. Sebastian Tinecte out late when he studs up. Don't think there's going to be any complaints about the awarding of the free kick, but this is an opportunity for Rangers. I've questioned they've had 3 corners so far. They've been short twice with them. You know, the last action in the first half, they just put in a long straight ball. Celtic never managed to deal with it, so I think in these scenarios they need to try and make them count, put the ball in the box.
It's a clumsy challenge from a forward player. And the opening minute of the second half, Mikey Moore stands over the free kick. It's right of centre, 10 yards from this near side touchline. Tinecte forming a one-man band wall there as Moore bends it in with the right foot towards the back post. Nadiri can't get onto it, and he goes behind for the goal kick, though the Rangers fans in the Copeland stand felt that that would have been a corner.
It wasn't a good free kick, actually. It was overhit. Just put it in across a penalty spot. You've got Rangers players starting in an offside position, but it's very difficult then for defenders because they're coming blocking you, and it allows other players then to get into areas. But when you don't deliver, that's the problem.
Pochi Chukwani coming on was sent off against Celtic earlier this season in the Europa League, playing for Sturm Graz, as he replaces Diamonde. So Butland in goal, Sterling, Giga, Fernandez, Roman, Skov Olsen, Chukwani, Raskan, Moore, Chermiti, Nadiri, Celtic, Sinisalo, Araujo, Arthur, Trusty, Scales, McCowan, Hatate, Nygren, Yang, Tinecte, Maida. Unchanged for them. Ball forward by Araujo towards Yang. Back to Araujo and in field to McCowan. Rolls it back to Trusty, and then the left-footed ball back to Sinisalo. turns it out to Scales on this left-hand side for Celtic as they attack the Broomloan stand, packed with their supporters in the second half. Dink forward down the line for Benjamin Negrin's an early ball. Maida didn't anticipate it, but he's still chasing. He's onto it. He slides to the ground there under pressure from Romans. He sees it behind for the goal kick. The Celtic fans there roared for a penalty, but if Maida had reacted just even a split second quicker, he's probably onto that.
And do you know what? It's really good football for Celtic. It's the exact scenario me and Pat were talking about in the first half with Liam Scales. He just has to open up and slide it down the line, and then once it works there, it's a good ball into Dyson Maida, but I've got to say it's fantastic defending for two Romans to cover and just usher it out, but dangerous, ominous for Rangers. It was good football by Celtic.
Yeah, you were absolutely right, Liam, though, because he was a little bit on, he wasn't anticipating that ball inside, and he was kind of almost had to react late.
Yeah, you kind of feel the Maida of last season reacts faster than that, and he's in on goal. He's just not had that same panache about his performances this season. He was player of the year last time around. Nowhere near it this time. Oh, it's a mistake, McCowan, and Arthur can't get there. Shermiti's after it, and Sinisalo bails them out. Still Rangers come though, but it's cleared by Benjamin Arthur, and that mix-up between McCowan and Arthur could have proved so costly. It stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0 in 48 and a half.
Yeah, really good goalkeeping though, really good goalkeeping, because he took his defender out of trouble there, because again that was a mistake by Benjamin Arthur. He looks a really good player, but there's mistakes in him. That's the problem with Benjamin Arthur, but Sinisalo really sharp to get out and get the block in and clear his lines.
The thing is, you're talking about a 20-year-old as well, and it's not quite his baptism in the Celtic team, but it is an effective baptism of fire coming into this environment for him.
Yeah, and it's just a lapse of concentration. He allows the ball to roll under his foot, and listen, I don't want to compare individuals, but if that's Kasper Schmeichel in Celtic's goal, does he get there?
No chance.
I don't think so.
He wouldn't be starting that high up anyway.
It's great goalkeeping by Sinisalo.
Keeps the scores blank. 49 on the clock. Rangers have it on the left. Romans infield. There it goes to Fernandez. Looks to hit it through with the outside of the boot. Moore chases. Moore's onto it. Mikey Moore now up to the edge of the box. Goes down. Was he fouled by McCowan? Ball was taken, says Don Robertson. He's making that quite clear to everyone. As Arthur picks up and rolls it down the right touchline for Araujo. Drives it forward with the right foot, but it's gone straight to Fernandez. A lot of Celtic's forward balls look like they're being played more in hope than anything else.
Yeah, it wasn't a good ball from Araujo there. He had all the time in the world to hit that ball down the channel. He plays it, tries to play it. I don't know, I think he got it wrong actually. I think he was trying to do that, but he got it all wrong, and then Rangers picked up the ball so easily.
Giga for Fernandez, left of the centre circle to the left side. It goes to Romans and back to Fernandez. I take it Diamondi looked injured at one point in that first half, and I take the yellow card as swayed Danny Rule into bringing Chukwueze back into the side for the second half.
Yeah, I think so. So it's as Rangers just foray forward here.
They come again. Romans to the left hand side of the Celtic box. Moore gets the early ball across, well defended by Trusty, still alive. Moore chips for goal onto the roof of the net and over the bar. Off a Celtic player though, and a corner to the hosts as they look to break the deadlock.
Yeah, Rangers break down the left-hand side, and once it sort of ricochets and falls for Mikey Moore, you're just expecting him to let fly, but I think it's Benjamin Arthur. It's a combination between I think it's Trusty.
Trusty.
Combination between Trusty and Sinisalo, I think do really well to try and shut off the angle. But it's another opportunity for Rangers for this corner. Will they put this one in the box?
Mikey Moore then over the corner, over on the far side. In the Sandy Jardine Govan stand, Copeland Road section of the pitch. In swinger with the right foot coming up, Celtic with everyone back. Moore's played it low to the angle for Skov Olsen. Back to Moore. Now it comes in towards the back post, and the header from Arthur puts it behind for another corner. Not the first time they played it short from a corner kick.
Yeah, that's why they put this one in the box, but the answer was no. They went short again, but this time it was a better delivery. It goes to the back post where they try to hit Ryan Nadiri. It was good defending for Celtic, just not out.
I think what they're doing, Andy, is they're taking the short, dragging Celtic players to the near post, and then Nadiri's trying to get round the back, but Benjamin Arthur had him in the sights that time. Good defending. Another corner.
Skov Olsen this time, and swinger with the left foot from this near side, and it's the worst corner we've seen all season, I think, as he rolled it along the byline straight to the near post. Celtic clear with ease. Not sure what he's trying to achieve there.
It was the same last week. Liam, Rangers had so many corners and set piece scenarios, but the delivery was poor on that occasion. It's been poor again today. Well, that is one thing you must say when James Tavernier plays you. 9 times out of 10 you're getting that delivery, but it's not been the same today.
Tavernier among those on the bench for Rangers this afternoon as they put the ball in the box. Nadiri looking for Rascan, cleared by Trusty, dumped out for a Rangers throw-in. Level with the Celtic penalty spot. There's 2 balls on the ground at the moment on the grass.
Celtic are lucky they was. They were so slow to react there, and it was just a throw into the box.
Sterling takes it, gets it back from Skov Olsen, level with the Celtic 18-yard line. Matajiga sweeps the ball in with the right foot. Rascan with the flick. Chermiti helps it on its way, and Yang is to put it behind for another Rangers corner. It's a good period for the hosts this, though it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, if Celtic get through this period, they'll be doing well because they're under severe pressure at the moment, corner after corner.
It's another Moore corner from the left. Skov Olsen taking the ones on the right. It's a really congested 6-yard box, my goodness.
Look at the position of Nadiri. He's on his own right out in this beyond the back post, and he's going to make a run from there.
Moore takes, Nadiri makes his run, and it comes to the near post, headed down and off the line somehow. Oh, looked all day long as though Rangers were taking the lead there as it dropped into the 6-yard area. Fernandez has got the touch onto it, and somehow it's been bundled off the line. And Sinisalo scrambling. It stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0. That is as close as Rangers have come to scoring.
I can't believe the ball's not hit the back of the net. It's a free header for Manny Fernandez. You're expecting him to do better, but then it just falls in the box. There's a scrimmage. I can't even possibly begin to guess who gets the final touch, but you're just waiting for the net to ripple. Celtic clear, but Rangers attack again.
Rangers on top here. It's Skov Olsen into a central position midway inside the Celtic half. Back out to the right, Rascan. He's got support from Sterling. That's where it goes. Sterling, it's a lovely ball in. It's just a bit too close to Sinisalo. Chermiti couldn't get onto it, and the Finn gets it away for Celtic out to Yang on the right. It's very similar to how the first half began as McCowan's tripped there by Romans. And McCowan's reacted. This is Romans. McCowan's on the deck. The yellow card's out for the Rangers fullback.
Yeah, and listen, Celtic are getting overrun in midfield now. You know, they just can't get a hold of the ball, and you know, McCowan, Negrin, they're getting the ball nicked off them at times when they're in those positions. The problem for Martin O'Neill now, who has he got to put into that position if he wants to make a change? Last week he made a change with the Hatati coming on. Very difficult for him now. I'm looking at.
They're going to make changes, Pat.
They are, but I'm looking at Oxlade-Chamberlain coming in. But is that going to strengthen them up in there? Not so sure. Bernardo, not so sure.
Passed him by last week, didn't it? Oxlade-Chamberlain here. It might be Chvanchara's coming on too. So Martin O'Neill isn't wasting time in the second half. It's just 10 minutes old, and he's going to look to change things up, but struggling to get a foothold. They grew into the first half, but they grow into the second. There's a long ball. Maida chases, collides with Butland. The two of them are down, and Don Robertson's on the scene. And I think that's just to make sure the two players are okay. It looks like Maida's come off the worst here, as they both went for it. It's inside the Rangers box. Butland commanding his penalty area, and Maida goes to ground, and he's still down.
Yeah, I mean, Rangers fans are appealing for more, but I don't think it should be any more than just a foul. I think Diza Maida got his eyes on the ball the full time. I think Jack Butland, just like he says, commands his area, comes out in the blind side and collects it. Diza Maida's obviously late, but there's no intent to harm Jack Butland, that's for sure. But Rangers started this second half well again, Liam. So listen, that's the reason that Martin O'Neill's choosing to go to his bench to try and make the difference, just like he did last week.
It will be Chvanchara and Oxlade-Chamberlain to come on, and that is going to happen now by the looks of it. Yeah, so McCowan off, Oxlade-Chamberlain on, and as Liam Scales comes over to have a word with Sean Maloney, Chvanchara will come on for Tinecti, Pat Bonner.
Yeah, Maeda will come out on this left-hand side. You know, he's obviously limping a little bit after that clash, so he must be okay, otherwise he would be. He's holding his side too, but obviously McCowan coming off for Oxlade-Chamberlain. I just wonder how they're going to set up now in midfield. Oxlade-Chamberlain going to sit in front of the back four. Wow.
Well, he's just such a hugely experienced player. as Oxlade-Chamberlain, and that spell in Turkey. He was out of the game though from last summer to when Celtic signed him, so he's a little bit cold, you would think. Anyway, Celtic have made the changes. Tranchara goes through the middle. Aizen Maeda comes to the left. Still Yang on the right as Butland launches it forward from the edge of his box from that free kick. Won by Nadiri. Chermiti chasing. Trustees to be careful. It's going to drop off Trustees' knee for Nadiri. Across for Chermiti. Away by Arthur, importantly. Breaks the edge of the box. Nygren only half away. Raskan hits it with the outside of the boot. It's blocked. Breaks back to Sterling. Right hand side. Now Skov Olsen. He's in the Celtic box. Uses the overlapping Sterling, who chips it in. Sinisalo gathers well and holds on. And on 57.5 minutes, it is Rangers 0, Celtic 0. Sinisalo's landed awkwardly.
He's got one of those in the back where, you know, you're stretching for the ball, players are coming in, he's got up above them, and he's been sort of kind of almost, but I think he's okay though. It was a good take from him.
Remember, Falkirk already through, beating Dundee United 2-1 on Friday night, and then last night Dunfermline, an absolute thrashing of Aberdeen to book their place in the semis. And if those two draw each other, what a semi-final that'll be at Hampden. Don't like each other very much. And we've got this one finally poised at 0-0, approaching the hour mark. Rangers Celtic, and then tonight live on the BBC Scotland TV channel, it's St Mirren against Partick Thistle, which will be followed by the draw for the semi-finals. So loads to look forward to this weekend.
I'll tell you what, Fernandes takes a little bit of a risk there at the back, doesn't he? He's got that in him. He just tried to, instead of just playing it back to the goal crib, he tries to flick it round Chara and got away with it.
I think the Chivanchara substitution for Celtic makes a lot of sense. I think they need a focal point up here.
Austin Trustee's gone down off the ball. Chermiti's the Rangers player involved. I didn't see what happened there.
I did, Liam. So Trustee's got the ball in his hands, and Chermiti tries to knock the ball out of his hands, and Trustee goes down.
Here we go. Remember, we saw tempers spilling over after full time last week. Don Robertson's got a job in his hands here. He's been joined on the pitch by his near side assistant Ross McLeod, who's trying to help the referee keep a lid on this as the players clash again.
For a young player, Mickey Moore gets involved in things, isn't he?
Yeah, he does.
You know, just stay away, and you're a good player. You don't have to go and prove anything.
And another change coming here, and Dane Murray, who wasn't fit enough to start, came out of the starting 11 for the game at Pittodrie on Wednesday evening, and he's going to come on for Rio Hatate, is it? No, it's I thought it was 41, it was 43.
Benjamin Arthur off. It's a strange change at this point in time.
Unless he's struggling. Martin O'Neill's just had a word with him. Anyway, it'll be game on again in a moment. That's will come to what to do about nothing there between Trustee and Chermiti as Rangers get the game back underway. We've played an hour. It means Rangers 0, Celtic 0. It's with Butland, long left football right down the middle. Chermiti's chasing, and then Sinisalo has to unorthodoxly punch it away from the edge of his own box. Kind of dived at it, Superman style, and gets to the head of Chermiti. It was a really awkward bounce for the Celtic goalkeeper, that one, when it came through towards Yusa Chermiti.
Yeah, it really checked, didn't it? And checked up on him, and it didn't follow through. And he had to then improvise a little bit, and he's dived and punched it. But again, decent goalkeeping. I like that more. He nearly got caught in no man's land.
Yeah, the only question I would have for Yusuf Chermiti is, can you not go with your head and try and get there first? But he tries to go with his leg and try and knock it round. Been really impressed with Sinisalo, though. He's not had a lot to do in terms of saves, but he's commanded his box extremely well so far, coming for crosses, commanding his area, sweeping up things at the back for Celtic. He's had a good opening 60 minutes.
He was at Aston Villa, Sinisalo, and a couple of loans from there, including one at Ayr United in the season played behind closed doors when Rangers won that league title. Celtic were going for 10 in a row, but Rangers come down the left and they've won a free kick. Chikwane's done so, and this is about level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box. Celtic are really struggling here.
Yeah, that was a silly foul. What you don't want to be doing is giving away fouls in that type of position where that ball is going to be bent in into that penalty spot, and the height that they have, Rangers is a real threat.
You can see that Fernandes, Giga both in the box, looking to get in the end of this. Nadiri, Sharmiti, plenty threat in there in blue. Celtic once again with everyone behind the ball. Andreas Skov Olsen stands over the free kick wide on the left, level the edge of the D, as I say. It's really deep. It will come off Giga's head, but it goes the wrong way, away from goal, out to this near side. He's desperately trying to keep it in play, which he does. Turns it back to Sterling, rolls it with the left foot to the right of the centre circle here for Romans, under pressure from Maida, gets it away, but Celtic win it back from the second phase there. Oxlade-Chamberlain picks up, drives it forward, looking for Maida. Romans is onto it, clears, and Moore heads away into the midfield. Dane Murray with it, finds Hatate in the centre circle, and he rolls it back to Murray, and that horrible swipe at the ball that led to Rangers' second goal last week. Araujo challenged by Moore on the far side, and Celtic pass it straight out of the pitch. The Rangers supporters sense an opening. Goals in the offing here as we approach 63 minutes, 0-0.
Yeah, well, I tell you, whoever gets that first goal, and it looks like Rangers are the more dominant team in the second half. If they get it, it's going to be very difficult for Celtic to come back, because they haven't really created anything in this match whatsoever.
They have to make the pressure count, though. You know, they had this type of pressure in periods in the first half, didn't take advantage of it. I don't expect this full second half to go Rangers' way like it has in the opening 18 minutes or so they have to try and make this pressure count.
Raskan picks up from the midfield, rolls it out to the right side for Sterling. Skov Olsen ahead of him, faced by Maida is Dujon Sterling, and then a misunderstanding of Skov Olsen. He passes it straight out for a throw-in to Celtic on this near side. 63.5 on the clock. It is goalless. Maida had the ball in the net in the first half, ruled out after the VAR check for offside. The closest Rangers have come, Fernandes with a second half header which dropped onto the line, and it was bundled away. None of his teammates able to force it home. And that's as close as the two teams have come to breaking the deadlock here in Glasgow. An awkward bounce this time for Fernandes. Maida putting the pressure on, breaks to Chukwani, plays it off Maida and out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side.
I'd love to know what Daizen Maida has for pre-match. I mean, the energy he has out of possession, it's remarkable. It looks like it's an easy ball for Fernandes and Chukwani to deal with, but puts him under so much pressure with his energy. But in terms of on the ball, I'm sure they'll be looking for Daizen Maida and the front three for Celtic to do a lot more on the ball, that's for sure.
That's the problem. That's the problem, Andy. Very, very good. All the other part of it, working hard, pace, closing down, but on the ball is the bit.
As Raskan rolls it out to the left side of the Rangers box for Fernandes. He goes back to Butland. Vanchara closing him down. He gets it away with the left foot and bounces over Araujo's head. He's onto it though. Level the edge of the centre circle in his own half. He passes it straight out for a Rangers throw-in over there. Well, last week it was a very different kind of game. It was a more entertaining affair than this one's been, as JD Gassama prepares to come on for Skov Olsen. But as the seconds tick by, the more important a first goal can be in a cup tie, Andy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been pretty cagey. It's not been the level of quality we've seen in times last week, that's for sure. You just feel it is that type of game that this first goal is going to be the most important one. It could be pivotal within the game. Will Rangers now make that change? JD Gassama coming on for Skov Olsen. I can see why. I don't think he's done enough, the Danish player.
He's been a bit of a letdown, I think, for the Rangers supporters so far, but there's still plenty of time in the season to make a statement. Denmark international. It is Giga for Rangers, plays it to Raskan, back to Giga, who goes back to Butland. The edge of his own box. Long ball with the left foot right down the middle of the park. Sharmiti's giving chase. Again it checks, and Sinisalo is to get out of his box, and he heads it away. Now he's trying to backtrack towards his goal. He's managed to get there. Chukwani finds Sharmiti, passes it infield straight to Hatate. Scales then dinks it down this left side for Nygren. He's really been on the periphery of things today. Celtic's top scorers. Maida's wiped out by Sterling on this near side.
Yeah, that's a bad tackle.
Yellow card coming.
Oh, it's a late tackle, that one, actually. He took him out because Maeda was away, played it down the line, and Sterling went in very, very late.
He's made a positive introduction to Chukwani in that Rangers midfield. He's starting to break up play quite a lot, and when he's getting it, he's playing forward. It's a great ball into Yusuf Chamiti. That's where the big man's got to be a lot better. You know, his link-up play, Rangers had worked a A lovely little opening down that right-hand side, but loses the ball, lets Celtic counter-attack. That's what leads to the yellow card for Sterling.
I was talking about Chigwani being sent off against Celtic in the Europa League this season. He also played against Rangers in Sturm Graz. Winter window arrival as Trusty dinks it forward. It comes off Sterling. He knocks it out for a Celtic throw-in on the near side. And that, I suppose, for Martin O'Neill will be the positive, will be that it's still goalless here. And he'll also, and Andy mentioned a game of 4 quarters potentially. Rangers have dominated the first and third quarters of it. We're into the final one here of the 90 minutes. Celtic will hope to make inroads during the final 22.5 minutes of the 90 that remain here. Gassama for Raskan on the halfway line. Chigwani long ball looking for Moore. Moore's on to it on the left against Araujo. Loses out and Celtic pick up with Yang. And now it's with Oxlade-Chamberlain. Fires it forward, comes off the back of Nygren. That was unfortunate and it breaks Rangers' way. They are on the far side. It's picked up here by Fernandez, who knocks it back to Butland. An awkward one for Chigwani over on the far side. Rangers have it with Sterling across the halfway line. Here's Gassama down the right side of the Celtic box for Sharmiti. Trusty comes to meet him. Sharmiti holding him off, spinning him, rolling it back there to Gassama. Away from Chvanchara, gets the cross in with the right foot. It's a chance for Romans to head at the back post area towards the 18-yard line. He can't find a teammate and Celtic come away with it. Nygren though, ransacked there by Raskan. Pop through to Gassama. Now Sharmiti pulls the trigger and it's blocked by Austin Trusty and it pings out for a throw-in to Rangers on this near side and stays 0-0 after 68.5.
That's about 3 or 4 times that Nygren's been bundled off the ball, you know, and that's the bit that well, he's brilliant in the opposing box, getting into positions, but when he's in those areas, can you trust him to be comfortable on the ball?
Giga forward to Gassama in behind Chvanchara here for Sterling. He's got another chance to cross with the right foot. He does. Romans attacking it and that's an important clearance by Yang. You could easily have caught the player there. Araujo's onto it, driving away, burning away from Nadiri on the far side. Brilliantly won back though by Ryan Nadiri. Didn't look likely and Rangers have it back over on the far side. Now it's with Moore attacking the Celtic box potentially here. Good challenge by Yang this time to win it back for Celtic. Chvanchara picks up, he's fouled by Raskan. Celtic free kick, goalless at Ibrox, approaching the final 20.
It's the 4th time in the last 5 minutes that it's been Yang that stopped promising attacks for Rangers. You've got to say it's excellent from him because Mikey Moore's cutting the right onto his right foot and Rangers have got loads of bodies down that right hand side. He's about to pick his pass but Yang just robs him. The game's so frantic at this moment in time, Liam. It's going from end to end. Rangers just have to punish these scenarios where they're stealing and robbing balls off Celtic at the edge of the box. They're just not getting shots away after it.
Yeah, anything can happen in this game at the moment. There's been very few chances, clear-cut chances, but anything can happen.
Celtic have only lost 3 of their last 43 Scottish Cup ties, 2 of them to Rangers. 1 was last season's final when they lost Aberdeen on penalties. Tate wins the header into the Rangers box, away by Sterling. Celtic looking to spring to life here. They've been up against it since the break, but here's Scales, finds Nygren out to the left for Rio Hatate. Level with the edge of the D of the Rangers box, plays it short infield to Nygren. Raskan's gone down on the ball, wanting a free kick. The referee's not interested. Slip to the right of the centre circle for Murray. Out to Yang on the right, met by Romans. Yang, poor touch from him, has allowed Romans in to make the challenge. Moores away down the left side. Knocked in field to Chermiti. Back to Chigwani, left of the centre circles. Chance for Gassama and behind here. Eventually he's on to it from Sterling. Up against Scales. JD Gassama driving down the right side. Maida trying to get back. Gassama spins away from both he and Scales. Tries to have another bite at Maida. And then goes out off the Celtic man, out for a Rangers throw-in level with the Celtic 18-yard line.
To the power of work out of possession, the Celtic wild players. With Jedi Gassama, if he's in a 1v1 situation with Scales there, you fancy him, but Diza Maida comes back. And
that's clumsy from Maida. Rangers have a free kick. Very similar position here to the one that we saw quite early on in the second half.
Yeah, as in, I don't know how many more fouls that Diza Maida's going to get away with now. That's 4 or 5 already. It just feels as if the next one might lead to that yellow card. He's given away fouls, Pat, in such dangerous areas for Rangers.
This is another great chance for Rangers. You know, you're about 5 yards outside the corner of the penalty box on inside, just putting it in. It'll be bending away from goal. Makes it difficult for the goalkeeper, but they've got the big bodies up. And yeah, awkwardness from Maeda more than anything else.
72 on the clock. Bang on that now. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. Celtic don't look like scoring. Rangers looking to press home the dominance they've shown since the break. Moore then to take, right-footed, into the box, comes off Raskan, flicks it for goal. Sinisalo holds on as it looped up towards him, and it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0. I think Raskan was just trying to help it on its way towards goal rather than score himself.
Another poor delivery.
Rangers' delivery from set pieces today has been shocking, and it's another brilliant area of the field where you want to try and make Celtic defend, but it's another poor one that you can't create anything out of.
Maeda sliding in on Sterling, putting it out for a Rangers throw-in midway inside Celtic territory. It's Bolton Nadiri up against Scales. Scales reacts well, knocks it out for a throw-in to Rangers here, and there is a sense that an opening goal's coming here for the home team if Celtic aren't careful, albeit Gassama passes it straight out for a throw on this near side.
Yeah, well, the problem Celtic have also now is that Banchara's up front on his own, but he hasn't got the pace to get away. And Maeda's doing a terrific job down the sort of left-hand side, working really hard, but that pace has gone out of the Celtic team high up the pitch.
Crowd of 51,215 inside Ibrox this afternoon for this one. Breaks to Maeda on the halfway line, helps it into the Rangers half, but Giga's there, and it's an up and under from Giga over his head into the Celtic half. Comes off Dane Murray, nods it forward, but it's with Sterling. He heads it forward and clear by Scales. Chikwani takes it on the chest, finds Moore, cleverly moves it out to Romans. Wide in the left, Danny Rule down there, prowling his technical area. Lovely skill by Moore. Can he keep it in play? Yes, he can. Down towards the byline, pulls it back for Romans, takes a touch, sweeps it into the box with the left foot. Again, the quality of cross is poor. Headed away by Murray. Rangers pick it up on the left with Chikwani. Leaves it for Romans, who rolls it back to his fellow Belgian Raskan. Square ball to Sterling. Gassama's on the right touchline here. 16 minutes of the 90 to play. It is Gassama up against Maeda. Rolls it square in field to Chikwani. To his left, Fernandez. And back to Sterling. Sterling's in space, trying to find a way through here. Ring up the cross. Chamiti back to Moore, who lasses it wide with the left foot, and it will stay Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Well, Liam, the full second half's been played in Celtic's half, but Rangers just don't have the quality to unlock the door at the moment. I mean, like we says, what's that been now? 30 minutes of just constant pressure, but still not really tested Sinisalo at all in the Celtic goal, and a lot of that's been down to the quality for the wide area, just not been good enough.
Nadeem Bayrami's coming on.
Well, that's a surprising one. It'll be interesting to see who for as well. I'm guessing it'll be Ryan Nadiri. So is it going to be a change of formation as well? If it is him, I can't see Mikey Moore coming off the pitch. I think he's going into the game in the second half.
The Celtic goal kick then, which will be taken by Guilherme Sinisalo, who launches it forward with the right foot into the Rangers half. Banchara going after it, but it bounces off him, and now it's with Gassama, who goes back to Sterling, who launches it long into the Celtic half. Trusty with a clever header, finds Scales on the near side touchline. Infield to Tate, he's had it robbed off him there by Gassama. He's got Moore ahead of him. Gassama goes round to the right side of the box here. Gassama taking on Trusty, drop of the shoulder, blasted off Trusty behind for another Rangers corner.
Yeah, good defending from Trusty. I've got to say he's up against a very tricky player there, and he holds his ground, doesn't dive in until the right moment.
Well, how many times have we seen this scenario where Rangers have robbed Celtic of possession from 30-35 yards out and it's not led to a shot? I mean, again, just the final ball's been so poor. Now, this is the first time it's going to be two Romans take the corner. Can he get a better delivery?
Left-footed in-swinger Romans on this near side, floated towards the back post. The answer is no. It's way too close to Sinisalo, who holds on. And the ref seen a pull in Sinisalo. Free kick Celtic inside their own box. It is 0-0. 76 played.
Yeah, that's really good goalkeeping again, isn't it? You know, it's a difficult ball, lots of bodies in there, but he's shown that he can handle that ball in the air and gets high up and gets a good. hands on it, takes the pressure off.
Well, Andy Halliday said surely it won't be Mikey Moore to come off. Well, it is.
Yeah, I'm amazed at that. You know, I thought Julian Araujo done a really good job on Mikey Moore in the first half, but for me, he's been the brightest of the Rangers attackers in the second half. You know, that's 2 occasions in the last 5 minutes alone. He's got down the outside of Julian Araujo, broke into the box, picked somebody out. So I'm surprised he's the one that's been sacrificed.
On comes the Albania international Nedim Bayrami. And I think Celtic are going to be making changes as well. James Forrest is going to come on, and it looks like Joe Mavuka will be on too. Joe Mavuka, who we haven't seen too much of since his move here back in January.
He only had that one half when he came right away, and he's tricky. He's a lightweight player, though. You know, in this game, not so sure if it's going to be effective.
Rangers on the ball on the left with Robbins, clips it forward with the left foot, long down the left side. It's cut out with the chest of Dane Murray. One back there on the far side by Bayrami. He wins the throw-in, takes it quickly himself to Shermiti. Back to Bayrami on the far side. He thought about chipping it into the box. Instead, he plays it to Chikwani behind him on the touchline. Chikwani works an angle. It's ball in's cleared by Oxlade-Chamberlain. And out for a throw into Rangers on the far side. Celtic changes. Yang off. Mavuka will come on for him. And on to will come James Forrest, and he's going to replace Tyson Maida. 12 minutes left of the 90 to play here. And Celtic going in and making a double change, Pat.
Yeah, well, we talk. Listen, Andy has picked up on it. The 2 wide players have worked so hard today for Celtic, and the 2 of them now is coming off the pitch. So the 2 just coming on, Forrest and Vuka, they've got to do exactly the same job, and hopefully then when they get the ball, they can progress up the pitch a little bit and give Celtic a little chance to sneak this game, because the way it's going, the only hope for Celtic is it goes into extra time.
How many times has this number 49 for Celtic made a difference in this game as well? He's got 12 minutes to try and change it.
He did last week, didn't
he? He did last week. Obviously puts the delivery in for Daisemeda's header for the penalty, but so often the go-to man for Celtic in these games.
Most decorated player in Celtic's history. He's won the Scottish Cups no fewer than 7 times, James Forrest. Theo Romans turns it back into his own half for Raskan. You're getting to that point where one goal might decide it. Out to this near side for Sterling. Given Celtic don't look like scoring, penalties looks their best bet. As it stands, that could change, of course, in the blink of an eye, but right now it's 0-0, and we are knocking on the final 10 of the 90 here. Sterling with a throw-in, down the right side it goes for Gassama. Loses out to Mavuka. He then plays it off Sterling, and out for the throw to Celtic on this near side. Wait to see if Martin O'Neill's alterations can shake life into his team, because they've been on the back foot for most of the second half. Fanchara flicks on, but it breaks to Bayrami. Midway inside the Celtic half, Nadiri finds Gassama wide on the right, level with the 18-yard line, finds Nadiri at the byline. His ball in's blocked. Gassama gets the chance to put it in and doesn't. Oxlade-Chamberlain clears. Bouncing ball's awkward. Chikwani at the edge of the box, couldn't resist the shot with the left foot. It's high over the bar. It's Rangers 0, Celtic 0 in this huge Scottish Cup quarter-final, but it has not been a classic by any stretch.
No, and it just shows you Celtic just at midfield are getting so out-muscled. You know, they're good players when they get the ball and they've got time and space, but Rangers are really up against them, and Negrin is getting out-muscled by Chikwani since he's come on this pitch.
Sinisalo has it, under pressure from Shermiti, and then Trusty has one left on him by Shermiti, but he got rid of it. Breaks to Oxlade-Chamberlain in the midfield, holding off Raskan. Well, that's a poor ball by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Square was looking for Araujo. It's going straight to Bayrami, who can't make the best of it. Bayrami blocked there, and it breaks back to Bayrami and back to Chikwani, and then to the right of the centre circle for Giga. He's not had much football recently, Bayrami. Maybe excuse him. Maybe he could say the same about Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's a woeful ball for somebody so experienced.
I'll tell you what, I'll see if that was Mikey Moore that picked up that ball. I'll tell you, he would have been driving forward.
Well, I'm in danger of repeating myself here, but how many times have Rangers stole the ball off of Celtic for 30 yards of Celtic's goal, and again, no shot to show for it, no chance to show for it? They have to make this pressure count, because there's no way Celtic can remain as poor as they've been in the second half for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, we know what they're like with late goals. And since O'Neill returned to the club at the start of January, there have been so many examples of late goals taking points, and even in this tournament as well. You think of that really late strike by Junior Adamu that broke Dundee's hearts in the last round, forced that tie to extra time. Tenecti scored early in extra time, and Celtic went through and Dundee went out. So Rangers playing a dangerous game here. A long clearance there from Fernandes into the Celtic. That was an offside flag. Celtic will have a free kick. Such an intriguing game, even though the quality's been lacking at times. It really has. As Trusty plays it square to Dane Murray, right hand side of the centre circle. It's with Rio Hatate. Goes back out to Trusty, to Scales on this left hand side. Up the line for Mavuka. It's caught by Sterling. That's a free kick. Sterling needs to be careful. He's on a yellow card.
Yeah, and that again, late got into the tackle. He didn't have to dive in there.
Free kick Celtic on this near side. It's heading for extra time. 7 minutes left of the 90. But I mean, shots on target. Rangers have had 3 shots on target, but I mean, there was that scramble there after the Fernandes header. Sinisalo's been pretty comfortable. Celtic have not registered a shot on target. So obviously they've had it in the net, but that doesn't count. As it's flicked through by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Tranchara chases. Covering is Fernandes. He's done well. He spins, he clears. Scales can't control. Neither can Sharmiti. Hatate wins it back with help from Oxlade-Chamberlain. Then Nadiri wins it off Hatate. He then brings Nadiri to the ground. And a yellow card comes this time for Rio Hatate. I mean, these players, they all know the stakes involved here now. They can all see the clock. They know there's just 6 minutes plus stoppages left. And the likelihood is if one of them scores, they go through to a national semi-final.
Yeah, and you could probably sense that, because that was 30 seconds worth of mistakes there. Both teams just giving the ball up in certain areas of the pitch. Emmanuel Fernandes deals with the situation really well. Tries to clear up the pitch, doesn't get the clearance right. Celtic lose the ball, Rangers lose the ball, ends up in a foul and a yellow card for Rio Hatate.
Fernandes for Rangers left of the centre circle, so Hatate joining several others in the book. Here's Dujon Sterling, who is one of those, slips it, trying to get in behind Scales, looking to play in Sharmiti. Scales blocks, Scales is on it, but he's giving it away straight to Hatate. Now it's Nadiri at the edge of the box. Another example of that, it's Sharmiti, the back heel. Nadiri to Gassama, his efforts blocked, and Celtic clear through Forest. And once again, Andy Halliday's been beating the drum all second half in particular. Another example of Rangers winning it back and unable to get a shot on target.
It's honestly remarkable. I mean, it comes, I'll let you deal with this.
Yeah, Rascan into Nadiri and away by Murray, but he slices it badly and he was behind for the corner. Rangers nil, Celtic nil on 85 minutes.
So much it, Pat, is coming from Celtic's undoing. I mean, it's a square ball for Liam Scales. He passes it straight to Ryan Nadiri. Ryan Nadiri and Sharmiti are running 2v1 against Celtic's back 4.
What did I say?
And don't end up with a shot to go.
Andy, what did I say? Don't play the ball inside when you're in the left back position, when you're under that severe pressure. Play it down the line. Get yourself up the pitch. Oh my word.
Rangers corner. Romans with it, left footed into the box. It comes flick for goal and off the line again. Might be Nygren. Rangers come again. Gassama on the right side up against Hatate. Looking to get the break of the ball. Hatate stands his ground and wins the free kick for his team. That takes the pressure off. That looked like it was looping in the net.
Yeah, I mean, it's excellent defending there for Rio Hatate, relieve Celtic some pressure, but it's Nico Raskin. How many times have we seen him get his head on things, and it's just a floaty delivery by two Romans. He glances a header at the near post. I think you're right. I think it's Benjamin Nygren that just hooks the ball away with his left foot, and I think he has to. I think it's going to hit the back of the net if he doesn't. But I mean, this game, by all accounts, certainly looks as if it's going to go to extra time. Just the quality's not been there at the top end of the pitch for both teams at the minute.
The other 2 quarter-finals were settled without the need for an extra half hour and or penalties. It is goes. Celtic with Tate, fine with Buka wide on the left, and then his ball in field's cut out by Jiga, who clears. And now it's with Murray, plays it to the right of the centre circle for Araujo. It would be so typically Celtic if they score here. And here goes Forrest, little chip in, headed away by Fernandez. Not been up the pitch much in the second half. Celtic, they were there, but they've lost it. Chikwani comes away, up towards the halfway line, rolls it with the right foot along the deck to the left-hand side for Ryan Nadiri. Up against Murray, rolls it to the underlapping player, now it's by Rami, low ball in. Sinisalo holds on the 6-yard line. It stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Rangers win the ball, Rangers attack, Rangers delivery poor. Rinse and repeat for 40 minutes now. James Forrest looking a little bit lively there when he gets the ball, takes two runs on the outside. Decent delivery, but Fernandez deals it well.
In the bang or bust time here. Kasama chests it back to Jiga, up into the air it goes. It's running about the halfway line. The header won by Trusty, nods it forward, and it's Twanchara back towards Scales, picks up on the halfway line. Infield to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. That's a poor ball again. And he's just not settled, has he? At Celtic, he did get that goal against Livingston as it comes through to Butland, who clears with the left foot. Underneath it is Murray. He's so nerve-wracking out there for these supporters. Forrest goes down. Was he fouled by Romans? Yes, he was. Free kick Celtic over on that right side. Right in the touchline, but level the edge of the centre circle, maybe a bit further forward than that by the time they take this. Rangers 0, Celtic 0, 88 on the clock.
Quality has been so poor in this game, it's frightening. You know, it's almost you're waiting for somebody to make a mistake or something of that nature, or somebody maybe had a shot from 30 yards. That might win in the game, but the quality is poor.
Oxlade-Chamberlain with the cross in, looking for Scales, comes through to Trusty, left-hand side of the Rangers box, wins the corner off Nadiri. Well then, Celtic flickering into life, right to the death, as they do so often, as they look to go to the well once more under O'Neill and find the late goal that would take them through to the Scottish Cup semi-finals. And Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain comes out to take it. And they've done it to so many teams, both at home and abroad down the years. O'Neill's team's no exception, and he's out at the edge of his technical area again. The now 74-year-old. Oxlade-Chamberlain to take, in swinger with the right foot. In it comes, headed away on the 6-yard line by Sterling. Bayrami takes it down, shimmies away from Oxlade-Chamberlain, tries to clear it up the line, comes off the Celtic midfielder and out for a Rangers throw in on the near side. We're in minute 90, goalless.
Yeah, and then there will be a wee bit of extra time. I don't know if there's been some subs come on, so that will give us a bit of extra time anyway, but this game looks like it's going to go maybe to extra time unless somebody pulls something out of the bag.
It doesn't look likely that somebody's going to find that goal before the extra half hour. Free kick against Liam Scales down below us here, and it will be a Celtic ball just inside their own half on the main stand side.
I think you call that clever defending. He knows he's under serious pressure. I don't think he can really go anywhere. Steps across it right in the D, he just falls on the ball, and Don Robertson deems it enough to be a foul. Celtic are just going to put the ball forward, if the body's forward.
I'm looking at the goalkeeper here, he's come almost out to the half.
3 minutes added.
Out to the halfway line. He better deliver this well and get himself back into a position.
3 minutes, we're into the first of them. Sinisalo, a long ball from the free kick, right foot to the edge of the Rangers box. Scales is up there, so too's Bunny, gets a flick onto it. Twanchara back to Murray, here's Benjamin Nygren trying to head it forward. It's broken. Barami's way for Rangers though, as he steals himself forward up the halfway line, rolls it to the left for Gassama. Sharmiti's waiting in the middle, Bayrami to his left, still it's Gassama. Finds Chukwani, the edge of the box, onto the left foot, his shot's blocked heroically. Jane Murray's in there. Out it goes for a throw-in on this near side to Rangers, just as it looked like Chukwani was going to be in.
Yeah, it was a great break by Rangers, I've got to say. Really, Celtic committing players forward, lots of space to go and attack. Chukwani getting himself forward into that box, but what a tackle from Dean Murray. You know, we've seen him making a couple of mistakes, but that was one that saved his team. He's hogging around.
Bayrami, low ball in from the right, clear by Nygren, breaks takes to Raskan, can put it back into the Celtic box here, and it comes off Hatate's head towards his own goal, and Araujo has to flick it behind for the corner. Rangers corner with just over a minute and a half of the stoppages left at 0-0.
Big opportunity for them. Celtic have got enough bodies now with height in there. They should be able to defend against this, but it's all about the delivery.
I mean, we've mentioned that a couple of times. The quality's certainly not been there in this game, but the tension, Liam, I mean, you can feel it at both ends of the stadium, because you just know that, especially at this time, the next goal wins the game. Can somebody find it in the last 70 seconds?
Bayrami's corner, right-footed, in it comes, flicked away. I think Chanchara got onto that, and Murray picks up, looks for Mavuka down this left-hand side. Mavuka holds it up, but he shows too much of it there to Chukwani. Now Sterling, Celtic giving it away cheaply, not for the first time. Out wide right there of the Celtic box, Chukwani gets the cross in, headed away by Hatate to the edge of the area. Araujo flicks it away. Now it's Raskan. We're in the final minute of the 3 that were added on. No goals in the game. This is the chance for Rangers, though. It's clipped into the box, headed away by Murray. Gassama nods it out wide left there onto the touchline for Nedim Bayrami. Rolls it back to Raskan. Looks up at the box, and he's overhit that and some, and it goes behind for the goal kick, and it will stay Rangers 0, Celtic 0, and in one swipe of the boot for Nikola Raskan, it sums up the quality of what we've seen this afternoon.
You're bang on, Liam. I mean, he's unopposed. It's just, there's no Celtic player near him. All he has to do is put it in an area. Rangers have 6 bodies in the box. They've got plenty of spaces occupied to try and attack what delivery comes, but they can't attack one that ends up in the stands, that's for sure. And that's it.
Extra time is required here at Ibrox. After 90 plus minutes, fails to separate them. Celtic had the ball in the net in the first half. Daizen Maeda managed to bundle home after the flick from Scales. McCowan's cross. Scales was offside though after the VAR check, so it was wiped out. Rangers threatened constantly during that second half. In particular, Fernandes with a header towards goal. It was eventually bundled off the line. There was a couple of moments like that for Celtic defenders in that second 45, with Benjamin Nygren knocking off the line from a Raskan header as well. But few and far between have been the shots on target. Celtic yet to register a shot on target in the match. I don't think they managed to produce that at all during the entire 90 plus minutes in the game, which will be a huge disappointment for Martin O'Neill. And the good news for them is that Rangers haven't made their superiority count at all on the scoreline, because it is extra time after it finishes Rangers 0, Celtic 0 after normal time.
Rangers versus Celtic.
The Scottish Cup, live on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
Well, I guess it doesn't come as a major surprise that we require an additional half an hour to try to separate these two. Second half dominated by Rangers, but it was a similar story. It didn't really create very much in terms of clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities. There were a couple of scrambles. The closest, I guess, was the Fernandes header. There was goalwards, but actually came off Giga. And then there was a scramble, and the ball eventually cleared. Nygren with one off the line, or more or less on the line, from the Raskan header late on. And Tom English, you were bemoaning the fact at half-time that there wasn't an awful lot to fill what should be a lengthy colour piece, looking back on this encounter. Has it improved for you much in the second half?
I think this colour piece will be delivered in black and white. No, listen, it was all Rangers, but it's exactly as the boys were saying in commentary. It's just Groundhog Day. Rangers get the ball, Rangers pile forward, Rangers give it away, Rangers put in rubbish crosses, Rangers don't stress Celtic. Celtic's, the best aspect of Celtic's performance has been their scramble defence. They've offered nothing down the other end. They're just hanging on in this game, and Rangers just don't have the quality to finish them off. Celtic have no shots on target.
No.
They don't exist as an attacking threat. I'm not saying they won't exist as an attacking threat in the extra time, but certainly for 90 minutes they haven't. Rangers have had great free kicks in great positions, loads of corners, and they've done virtually nothing with them. So it's the lack of quality is just, oh my God, it's eye bleeding, to be honest with you. It's just thud and blunder for 90 minutes. Loads of energy, loads of desire, all of those things for sure, but no composure, no cohesion, and it's grisly enough, Richard.
Yeah, you said beforehand that given the respective lineups and the home advantage, if Rangers fail to see this one through, then it'll be a huge blow to them. Even more so, surely, in the wake of how that game has panned out.
Completely, yeah. Look, if somehow Celtic win this, either through extra time or on penalties, Rangers should be ashamed of themselves. Because this game against this weak and diminished Celtic, missing so many big names, are there for the taking. That's the way Rangers should be looking at this. And they're putting a load of effort into it, but the lack of end product and their inability to test Sinisalo is quite shocking, actually. It's very, very poor.
The Rangers club captain Sterling is coming on. James Tavernier is coming on for the extra time period. Perhaps he can offer up a bit of quality in terms of those deliveries. Extra time period about to get up and running with your commentary team of Pat Bonner, Andy Halliday and Liam McLeod.
Well, they needed extra time in the League Cup this season, in the semi-finals at Hampden. The Rangers were down to 10 men for a lot of that. Taylor Asgard sent off. There was a late Tavernier penalty, took it to extra time after Johnny Kenny and given Celtic the lead. Callum McGregor and Callum Osman scored in the extra time period to take Celtic through to the final, which they would lose to St Mirren. As they look to try and perhaps get themselves involved higher up the pitch than they've been able to do for most of this football match. Rangers are going to get the first period of extra time underway here under blue skies in Glasgow. And Raskan will take, as they go right to left in the blue shirts, white shorts, black socks, Celtic in the green and white hoops. Don Robertson gets the first period of extra time underway and is rolled back to Butland. How often have we seen dire extra time periods? They can't be much poorer than what we have seen throughout the normal time, I suppose. It just feels like it's only a matter of time before extra time's done away with. And I know there are many competitions that do go straight to penalties. I imagine that'll be something they'll be looking at in the years to come. But anyway, extra half hour it is. Andy Halliday, and as much as Rangers have had loads of the ball, they've struggled to exert themselves on that Celtic goal.
Yeah, both defences have been on top. Rangers' quality in the final third's been poor. We certainly hope that the introduction of their captain will improve that, especially for dead ball situations. So I don't think there's any doubt there will be compared to what we've seen so far.
Yeah, that does give them that threat, doesn't it? You know what Tavernier can do. As Forrest picks up for Celtic on the right midway, just about level edge of the centre circle. By the time he passes it back to Araujo, he finds Murray, who squares it to Trusty. Celtic shooting towards the Copeland Road end in this first period of extra time. Mavuka gives chase up against Tavernier, steps away from Tavernier, manages to nick it to Scales. He's in the box. Scales though slips as he tries to pull it back to Tranchara, and it's cleared by Raskan across the halfway line. Trusty wins the header. Over on the right it drops to Gassama. Gassama then helping it to Chermiti. Nadiri's waiting in the middle. Low ball in. Nadiri's touch is poor and away by Trusty. Awkward bounce for Tavernier and Scales. Scales hooks it away from the Rangers captain. Tranchara for Mavuka over on the left. Loses out to Raskan, but it's a free kick that's been given. Raskan cannot believe the decision. He drops to his knees in disbelief. In a show of petulance, there will be a free kick to Celtic. It is 0-0. We played 2 minutes of extra time.
Yeah, Yusuf Chermiti puts in the ball for the right hand side. I just question Ryan Nadiri's feeling and the need to take the touch there. Can he not just try and swing his right foot, try and divert something on target? But that being said, Celtic deal with it well again. I think Celtic defensively have been really good today, as much as they've not offered much at all in possession, especially in Rangers' final third. But you've got to say the back four have played extremely well.
Raskin with a flick header by Rames onto it, rolls it back to the edge of his own box where Fernandes takes over and strides forward up to the halfway line, rolls it to Chermiti to the right. Chermiti has it, moves in field. Celtic funneling back, still it's Chermiti, he's going to have a go. It's blocked by Trusty. Breaks to Mavuka, won back briefly by Tavernier, but cleared by Hatate. His clearance onto the chest of Jiga, and now it's with Romans. These two managers going up against each other. It was they who were in the dugout facing off in that semi-final at Hampden. Messrs Rule and O'Neill. Celtic who made the extra man count eventually. Butland clears from the edge of his own box with a left foot. Nadiri challenged by Murray. It's a foul by Murray. It's a free kick to Rangers just inside the Celtic half. 0-0.
Yeah, it's one of these. Which team is Celtic going to be? They're very, very tired. They've worked very, very hard in this game to stay in it. Obviously, they had less of the ball, and they've come off a midweek match also. So that's could be telling in this extra time. Yeah,
and for Hearts, this is another extra half hour these two title rivals are having to play. As I said earlier, Hearts would rather be in the tournament, clearly, but because they're out the Scottish Cup, they've got no Europe, and out the League Cup early as well, they've been able to focus pretty much solely on the Premiership title race all season, and only 1 week have they not been top of the pile, as they will be regardless of what happens next weekend. 5 points clear of Celtic, 6 clear of Rangers, and just those 9 games to go. But these two are having to go through the mill again here. In the midst of all that, as Gassama gets it from Jiga over on the far side, Hatate wins it back for Celtic. He gives it away. Neither team can keep hold of it for more than 2 or 3 passes. Hatate for Nygren. Mavuka's away to his left if he can find him. He has done. Left hand side of the box. His ball in's blocked by Jiga. Mavuka then will just be unable to get onto it, and it's seen behind for the goal kick. Both teams have been awful in the final third today.
I just can't believe them. What a brilliant opportunity for Mavuka to make his name. There's no point dancing around the ball. It's your final execution is a critical part, and he just doesn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, Celtic, they've not had enough opportunities to get in their positions, and when they do get in their positions, they have to do a lot more than Joe Mavuka's just done there. So poor for the Celtic wide man.
Trusty beats Nadiri to it, but he's going to put it into the sandy garden stand on the far side. It will be a throw into Rangers, with the taken way back up the pitch there. Kairami gets it back from Tavernier, forward for Nadiri. He's onto it here. Ryan Nadiri driving up to the edge of the Celtic box, through for Chermiti, blocked by Trusty, breaks back to Nadiri, goes down to the edge of the area. No foul. Nygren looking to dig it out for Celtic here. Eventually he sees Sinisalo as an option as he turns it back to his goalkeeper. Sinisalo rolls it to the right of the box for Dane Murray. Clip ball forward, looking for Chvanchara, who's not been in the game at all since coming on. A little bit of head tennis between Fernandes and Jiga, and he got away with it. It's now with Jiga, who finds Chukwani just inside the Celtic half, trying to spin from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's a free kick to Rangers. A foul by the Englishman on Chukwani, and it's a bit level with the edge of the centre circle in the Celtic half. It's Rangers 0, Celtic 0. We played 6 minutes of extra time in the Scottish Cup quarter-final.
I can't believe what I'm watching at times. Vanchara, the ball's played up to him, and they were almost playing head tennis, and he was in the middle, and he couldn't do anything. He couldn't get his body in between the ball. He couldn't.
He sounds scunnered, Packy.
I can't believe what I'm watching.
Romans with the free kick with the left foot into the Celtic box, headed away by Scales, and then up the line by Mavuka. Hatate chases, comes off Raskin, goes out for a Celtic throw-in over on the far side.
The reason why these are players that are supposed to come in to make an impact in the Celtic team. Celtic haven't been up the pitch in this second half, or even now in extra time properly, and when they do get up the pitch, there's no quality there.
Yeah, which is unusual. You think of the threats they've had down the years, even recent times. The last Celtic player to score the winning goal for them here at Ibrox was Kyogo Furuhashi. There's reports that he might have been returning to the club in January. That didn't come to pass. He was out to play for a throw into Rangers on this near side.
I'll tell you one thing, Liam, Ryan Nadiri's race has to be run. I mean, he's out on his feet completely twice. He's got his hands on his knees trying to catch a breath. This isn't the type of fixture you get the opportunity to catch a breath. That's a substitution that Rangers have to make, and make quickly.
Long ball forward for Rangers, cleared by Trusty. Header one by Tavernier on the far side. Tavernier rolls it to Chukwueze, and then by Rami down the right side. Tavernier has it. First time ball in. Sharmiti going after it. Sinisalo's there again, guarding his goal brilliantly. He punches it away with both fists.
It's great goalkeeping again. You know, he makes up his mind. He comes. He knows that he's got to get to the ball before the big striker, and he dives and punches it away.
With Butland, long ball with the left foot. Murray's underneath it, heads it away into the midfield, restricted by Rami. It's an early ball looking for Sharmiti, might be in here. Yusuf Sharmiti looks at the goal, kills it in the chest, shoots, and it's blocked. Might have been gone wide anyway. It's gone behind for the corner as he hit it with the left foot. He knows he's missed a glorious chance there. It stays Rangers nil, Celtic nil. Rangers corner.
It's arguably Rangers' biggest chance of the game, Liam. It's Bajrami plays the ball in behind. Yusuf Sharmiti waits for the ball to drop. He takes it down his chest, hits the ball with his left foot. I'm not sure if it's going on target, it's going wide, but one thing's for sure, Dane Murray does ever so well to get back and divert it out for a corner.
Bajrami trying to whip up the Rangers supporters there in anticipation of this James Tavernier corner from the Rangers left as they attack the Broomloan Road end. Paulo Bernardo's going to be on for Celtic shortly. Rangers corner, Tavernier over it.
I'm trying to see who's in on top of the goalkeeper. Is it Chukwueze? Is it? No, it's not Chukwueze. I'm not sure who it is. Jig, is it?
It's Jiga, yeah.
And he's obviously trying to use his strength. Liam Scales is up against, I think it's Negrin, is it?
Here goes Tavernier then, the corner, into the back post, the header down, it's in! Fernandez gives Rangers the lead from the corner. Did it come off his arm though? You celebrate for now. Fernandez nodding it down, eventually it's bundled over the line. And Rangers make an extra time breakthrough. Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
Yeah.
But will it stand?
It was just put into a great area for people just coming in and attack, and it was a group of 2 or 3 of them right in. But I just think that it may have come off his arm. It will be checked.
I think Andy's fairly convinced it did.
Yeah, I mean, one thing's for sure, it looked as if it comes off his arm for me. It'll be interesting to see after it comes off the arm, who is it that puts the ball in the net? Or is it the player that handballs it, Fernandez, and then goes there? But it certainly looked for me up here that it hit his arm.
Yeah, Andy was certain. As soon as that hit the net, Andy turned round to me and he was making that gesture.
He's coming over
and
to
they're
check.
looking at it just now. And no, he's not. He's just handing something that's come from the stands to the fourth official. But there's an official handball check going on here.
Just quickly while they check this, Liam, James Tavernier, the first good delivery Rangers have put in the box.
Yeah, that's it, ruled out. No goal. Both teams have had a goal ruled out. It stays 0-0, and it's the Celtic supporters' turn to cheer. 0-0 it remains. 11 minutes just about into extra time, and Andy was absolutely certain that was going to be ruled out as soon as it hit the net, and indeed it has been. Jaden McHoma will come on for Rangers now, and Celtic are going to bring on, as I say, Paulo Bernardo. It's a let-off for Celtic. Clearly Rangers had one in the first half of normal time and Maida had the ball in the net.
Yeah, and Andy's right. You know, it's the ball into the box, quality, and it's very, very difficult to defend when you have 2, 3, 4 big bodies coming in, and Celtic get off the hook, obviously with the handball, but I think that's... my feeling is that's going to be the type of goal that's going to win this game. It's going to be a set piece. It's not going to be creativity. It's going to be a mistake. It's going to be a set piece, something like that.
Sorry, Andy, we'll get the changes out of the way first. So Nygren's coming off and Bernardo's going to come on, and McHoma is coming on for Rangers, and is it Romans who he'll replace? You would imagine it would be Andy.
Yeah, so I was pretty convinced that it hit his arm, but I'd love to see it again because it looks as if it was a free header, so I don't know how it's managed to hit his arm, if that makes sense. I looked for all the world he was just going to get his head on it, the ball was just going to crash into the net, but like he says, I was pretty confident that it did hit his arm. You know, VAR have looked at it, it seems like that was the case, but I was going to say, first delivery, first chance that Rangers have got, James Tavernier to be the one putting in that ball, and it's on the money. At least see the ball go in the back of the net, but the arm was used. Celtic can't give the amount of daft free kicks they've gave away in wide areas and corners now that James Tavernier's on the pitch.
2.5 of the 15 minutes of the first period of extra time to play. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. Still another quarter-final to come later on the BBC Scotland TV channel. St Mirren Partick Thistle. The draw for the semis after that. Which one of these two will be in that draw? Getting closer to finding out, but only because the clock's ticking, not because either of these teams are producing chance after chance. So Rangers deliver the ball in the net there, and to that foul in Gassama. Nadiri spins away from the defender. He's in the Celtic box, pulls it back towards the 6-yard area. Hatate gets in the way and comes out to this near side. It is a war of attrition here at Ibrox. It is so attritional, but captivating for those who have an invested interest in the outcome. As Tavernier crosses, Jamiti wide! Again, it's Tavernier, the source. Plays it in from the right. First time from Chermiti. Sinisalo is not diving for that. He's said goodbye to it, and he's in the lap of the gods as he turned to look over his right shoulder. He sees it go wide. Perhaps it's his day. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. 13 and a half into extra time.
He's got to hit the target, hasn't he? But I'm just looking, obviously, from Celtic point of view. Again, Mavuka down that sort of left-hand side, sleeping, allowing Tavernier to bomb forward, all acres of space, good ball in, and then, of course, Chermiti should be putting his foot through that one and hitting that target from that position.
Yeah, he should score. He sees it all the way. He tries to guide into the far corner. It's another brilliant delivery for James Tavernier. He just doesn't quite get the right connection on it. Drifts wide.
Lovely touch by Chermiti. Here goes Bayrami. He's got Nadiri ahead of him. Chermiti there as well. Bayrami goes for goal right down the throat of Sinisalo. Suddenly they're coming up with chance after chance, Rangers, every time they come forward. 0-0.
It's wave after wave of Rangers attack at this moment in time. You know, there's 40 seconds left. A normal time for half-time extra time here, but no, we've talked about Rangers' pressure but not being able to equate into chances. That's not been the case in extra time. 3-4 glorious chances to get that opening goal, just not managed to get it yet.
The ball's put up to Vinchar every single time, and he's never won a ball yet in the air, which is quite incredible.
Araujo has conceded a corner under pressure from Chukwani. Another corner to Rangers. Their claim to the semi-final berth, and as the prize is growing louder by the second here.
Yeah, Celtic
1 minute added.
I'm sorry, just setting up for the corner here. They're playing that zonal. They're all, you know, a yard inside their 6-yard box. They're all 3-4 big players, and that allows then Rangers players to get a run on them, and that's where the goal came from the last time. It'll be going into the same area.
In from Tavernier again. It's towards the back post. Ruck of bodies in the way, headed away by Scales. Mavuka's header's not decisively clear. Gassama rolls it out to the left angle of the box for Tavernier, bends it in and then headed away, and Mavuka gets it clear once more. Again, it's not decisive though. Tavernier launches it with the right foot out to the far side, killed in the chest by Chermiti. Rolls it into the edge of the area for Raskan. Back to Tavernier. Last chance to the first period of extra time. He's off point this time, Tavernier, as it sails over everyone in behind for the goal kick and stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0, and we're right at the end of that minute of stoppages that was added on at the end of the first period.
Yeah, that was a chance, you know, because they were overloading at the back post.
Half-time and extra time. Rangers did have the ball in the net. Manuel Fernandes meeting Tavernier's corner, ruled out for a handball. Maida had the ball in the net in the first half of normal time, which was ruled out for offside. Rangers, though, have been the better team for much of the match, and it's been one-way traffic again in that first period of extra time. But crucially, the scoreline remains here at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Just to clarify the situation regarding that ruled out goal, it was an excellent corner swung in by Tavernier. Again, Emmanuel Fernandes gets to it first, but as he attempts the header, it looks like it hits his arm on the way down. It certainly goes goalwards. It's cleared off the line, and as the Rangers player falls, his swinging arm then connects with the ball and knocks it into the net. So it was a fairly straightforward enough decision by VAR. The big difference I think we have seen Tom English in this first half of extra time is the quality of crossing. It's amazing, isn't it, the difference James Tavernier makes to that Rangers attack.
Yeah, I mean, thank goodness someone out there knows how to cross a ball, and he's done it 2 or 3 times now, and Celtic they've done well to clear it. It's been a real scramble back there, but Tavernier is asking questions that no other Rangers player has asked for the entirety of the game. It's still 0-0. It's an awful game of football. It's like terrible. I mean, Celtic, I'll cut them some slack because they're missing so many players who might make a big difference. Callum McGregor, obviously, is the one we spoke about earlier on. I don't cut Rangers any slack. They spent a fortune on assembling this team, and this is inept. They might go on and win it. Celtic are just hanging on for penalties, I feel. But if Rangers don't win it, then they need to ask themselves some serious questions, because this performance from them has been appalling. Given they're at home, given Celtic are diminished, given that they've had so much possession, so much opportunity in terms of corners and free kicks and shots at goal to be ahead in this game, but they're not. It's amazing.
Both groups were in kind of huddles there. I know the Rangers fans won't want to use that particular phrase, but that's essentially what it was. Martin O'Neill was being very vociferous in terms of how he was addressing his players. 15 minutes to go. Another change for Rangers as John Souttar is introduced, and it's back to Liam.
Well, 15 minutes of football before the shootout lottery begins. Will there be a winner before that comes to pass? Celtic will kick off the second period of extra time right to left towards the Broomloan Road end. And it's Bernardo rolling it back to Oxlade-Chamberlain, who fires it long out to the left-hand side. Souttar has come on for Giga, incidentally, right at the start of this final 15 minutes. There'll be a throw into Rangers, which Tavernier will take on this near side. Launches it down the right touchline, top the head of Scales, and out for a Rangers throw-in. My goodness, these 15 minutes and possibly penalties are massive for these two clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said at the top of the show, there's a huge possibility that whoever loses this game ends up in this season with 0 trophies at the end of it, which is so damaging, especially for two clubs of this stature. Rangers spend the amount of money they have. Celtic, their dominance over the last decade or so seems almost unthinkable at the start of the season, but it's a real possibility.
Tavernier with a long throw in into the Celtic box, headed away by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Maghoma with the left foot tosses it back out to the right, looking for Bayrami. Mavuka with a horrible slice, and then he falls to the ground, chests it back to Bayrami, who picks up on the near side. Mavuka turns it out, and it's come off the Rangers man last out for a Celtic throw-in. You've got to go back to 1954-55 to find a Scottish football season where neither Rangers or Celtic won a trophy. But there's a real opportunity. St Mirren already with the League Cup in the bank. Hearts are favourites to win the Premiership title. And then you're left with the Scottish Cup. One of them's going to get knocked out in the next 25-30 minutes. Regardless of whether this goes to penalties or not, it will be Celtic or Rangers to tumble out of the competition. And you then probably, well, you will have Falkirk as the next best ranked side left in the last 4. As Nadiri plays a ball across into the Celtic box, blocked by Murray, who puts it behind. I think it's a throw-in down by the corner flag on this near side. We played 2 minutes of the second period of extra time.
Said that a couple of times, but Celtic's back 4, 2 centre-halves in particular throughout the game, whether it's been Murray and Trusty, they've defended their box so well. They have again on that occasion.
Tavernier long throwing into the box. Rangers head wins it, but comes back out to this near side. Tavernier's on it, level with the penalty spot, leaves it for Bayrami, thinks it's a good ball, headed away by Scales. More height and distance in the clearance, knocked away by Pablo Bernardo. Chukwani picks up, dinks it into the box, headed away Chara, who gets onto that, and then Rangers win it back here with Chukwani. Out to Bayrami, right foot, cross comes in, comes off the head of Scales, who heads clear. Chukwani back into the box, away this time by Murray. Bouncing ball, Souttar's onto it, but now Bernardo's onto it, driving forward down the right. Maghoma closes the door, and out for a Celtic throw-in on the far side. The supporters' nerves are shredded here in the Glasgow spring sunshine. Araujo the visitors on the far side. 0-0. 18 minutes into extra time. Down the line it goes. Rangers headed straight to Forrest. Back towards James Forrest from Chwanchara. Forrest goes down, no free kick. It's going to break to Murray, who goes back to Sinisalo. Too much on that. Sinisalo controls it well. Plays it short to Trusty, goes back to the Celtic keeper. Clears it with the left foot. It's going to break to Suter on the halfway line though. Absolutely. Suter forward and then headed clear by Trusty. Raskan forward, Nadiri can't control. And then Trusty batters the ball up high into the air. And it's an awkward one for Fernandez. This he's done the right thing, heads it away from goal rather than back to his goalkeeper. Breaks to Paulo Bernardo though, he's at the edge of the box. Bernardo drops the shoulder into the area, a little shuffle, Suter gets a little touch onto it, gets it back to Butland who clears. Looked like it was opening for Bernardo there. Celtic come again with Mavuka. Left hand side of the box, looks to hit the byline. Can he get the cross in? No, he can't. It's gone behind the byline. And that will be a goal kick to Rangers. It will stay 0-0. We've got 11 minutes of football left.
Wow, what a great position he got in. 1v1, he gets to the byline and then he knocks the ball wide when he should be clipping that ball into an area for somebody to come in and attack. And that's been the feature of his game since he's come on the pitch, which is really disappointing for me.
I mean, he crosses the ball out of play, but it actually goes out of play before it reaches the near post. Such as how poor the quality was. I mean, Celtic have been, I honestly can't believe how poor Celtic have been, but they've still got 10 minutes to potentially go through in this, and if they do go through it, they won't care how they played.
Suter heads it away. Tavernier launches it with the right foot, but he's put it out for a Celtic throw in on the far side. So it's the Celtic supporters who are getting behind their team here, perhaps sensing they've weathered the storm. Long throw into the edge of the box, might break to Chwanchara. It has done an awful touch. Raskan's then hauled to the ground by Bernardo. He'll be booked. The latest yellow card. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. 10 of extra time left.
They can't even control the ball at times. You know, I hate going on about it, and you know, the people who are listening to us probably are saying we're very negative, but honestly, you've got to call it as you see it, and it's so poor at the moment.
Chukwane for Rangers, rolls it out to the left. There for Fernandez, forward onto the halfway line. Gassama on the turn, was down. Was he fouled? No, well, he might have been. The ref's allowing Rangers to play on. In any case, over on the left side, it's Meghoma, infield to Chukwane. Now it's with Nadiri to the left for Meghoma, charging forward. Options in the middle, low ball in, is poor, cut out. How often have we said that? Celtic clear, Chwanchara, Suter, oh, he's made a mess of it. Chwanchara clears, but Butland's on to it and clears. He comes a long way from home to bail out John Suter, who looked like he'd left way too much work for Butland to do there. Chwanchara wasn't quick enough to get onto it. And Dyson might have still been on the pitch. That might have been more interesting. Rangers get away with it, and here comes Bayrami attacking the Celtic box. Down the right side of it, looking the cross, winning the corner off Liam Scales. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Well, such is the quality throughout the game. It's just, you can just sense the nervousness in the players now. You know, they know that a goal at this moment in time is going to be crucial in this tie, so you're seeing even more errors. And again, it's just making it all the more entertaining. It's got to be said.
Andy's a current footballer, of course. He literally dropped his microphone when John Suter played that ball back there. You can understand that. All footballers would have the same reaction. Because that's an awful moment. It must have happened to you at some point.
The unfortunate thing is, when I picked up the wrong way around.
You did. You saved yourself. In comes the corner, headed away by Scales. Tavernier flicks it back towards the edge of the box. He's given it straight to Forrest though. Mavuka's the only one ahead of him. He can't find him. Tavernier will see it out, I think, or play it back to his keeper. He has done. So we played 22 and a half minutes of extra time at Ibrox. It is Rangers 0, Celtic 0. And both sets of supporters know that it becomes a real lottery if it goes to pens. But here's Sharmiti, forward he comes, really good block by Bernardo, and he's going to get a free kick as well. The Rangers fans not happy because Scales did use a hand there, but to be fair to Don Robertson, he allowed the advantage for Rangers. It came to nothing, which is why the fans aren't happy, but it's a Celtic free kick, and we are edging ever closer to that penalty shootout. At what point when you're out there in a game like this in extra time, when you look at the clock, do you think, let's just settle for pens?
Yeah, well, especially the way the game's got for Celtic. I'm sure Celtic will take it just now, but how many
would you feel about it though? Like if you're out there, are you thinking penalties is probably...
Well, listen, you would always want to be going for the win because you just know how much a lot of these penalties are. But what I will say is with Celtic is how many times have we seen over the last couple of months, regardless of performance, that they come up with the goods at the end of the game. So Rangers certainly need to be wary of that.
The O'Neill factor perhaps comes into play there. Late goals in their locker previously, and under Lennon, under Strachan, under Rodgers. It goes out to this near side. Panchara with a flick towards the Rangers box. Souttar's under pressure, but he's done well to nod it back to Butland. Rangers nil, Celtic nil. Approaching the final 6 minutes. If you're Celtic, are you accepting penalties? Would you be quite happy with that outcome?
Yeah, listen, I couldn't see Celtic even getting the penalties in the way that this game has gone. You know, they have not been, I don't think, they haven't had one shot on goal.
There's a chance for Chermiti down the right side. He's in space. Nadiri's made his way into the box. Gassama there too. Chermiti looks up at the area. Little chip comes in, comes off Bernardo, and Sinisalo holds on to it. And again, the quality is found wanting. Rangers nil, Celtic nil in the Scottish Cup quarter-final.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say to you, and I'll put a proviso on that we know how Butland is very, very good at penalties, and that's probably again favouring Rangers from that perspective. We don't know how good Sinisalo is. He's in a good game today, Sinisalo, I've got to say. For a young goalkeeper coming in, a lot of pressure, he looks the part for me.
Without having to make loads and loads of saves, but he's commanded his defence really well, hasn't he?
Really good, box. Really good. Looks nice and sharp and decent all-rounder.
Well, he must be good if Paki Bonner is impressed. It's a high bar you got to get onto there as Sinisalo clears with the right foot over the head of Chanchara, comes right through to Souttar. He turns it back to Butland. This place is on edge, and you can understand why.
Not going to make it any easier if you start clearing balls like that. Jack Butland scuffs his clearance. Celtic on the attack.
Bernardo out to Forrest on the right side. It's beyond the midway point. The Rangers half is ball forwards cut out by Gassama. He chops away from Forrest. This Chikwani is brought down by Julian Araujo, who is yellow carded. And a little look to make sure he hadn't been booked before as he brought Fernandez down. It was initially good work by Chikwani to get away from Forrest. It stays Rangers nil, Celtic nil as the clock ticks down further. 4 minutes of extra time left.
It's a tackle he had to make, Liam.
There's Raskan and Araujo getting involved.
Again, it has to be said. Yeah, it was a tackle he had to make. Rangers were on the attack. They had the overload down the left-hand side. Listen, I think it's a good foul. You know, people might disagree, but I think you've got to take the yellow card in these scenarios when it looked like a dangerous attack for Rangers.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, at this stage of the game, you'll take the booking, won't you?
Do you know what? Celtic haven't had a shot on target. We know that, but they've only had one shot. One shot all told.
I cannot for the life of me think that a Celtic team could play a game and go through with that stats.
It's amazing. Rangers have seen more possession. It's about 58% as the long free kick from Butland comes to the edge of the Celtic box, headed away. Rangers, by contrast, have had 6 attempts on target. There's Rangers with Mike Homa. He's in a central position, midway inside the Celtic half, charges out to the left side. Out to Gassama. Gassama taking on Araujo. Level with the penalty spot. Onto his right side. Lays it to Jaden Meghoma. It's at the edge of the box looking for space to shoot. He does. It's blocked by Bernardo. Chikwani takes over. Back out to Gassama. Loads in blue in the middle. Celtic with everyone back just about. Barch Panchara. Gassama. Level the 6-yard line. Twisting and turning against Araujo. And it comes. Headed away by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Rangers looking for a winner before penalties. Then it's anyone's game. Chikwani goes all the way back to his goalkeeper from the halfway line. Butland takes a touch and launches it forward with the right foot out to the left-hand side. Araujo's the covering player. Raskan spun away from him though at the left angle of the box. Rolls it to Chermiti's a poor touch and it's swept away by Hatate. And it goes out for a Rangers throw-in on the far side. John Souttar picks up left of the centre circle and rolls it forward to Chikwani. Left of the circle and into it for Souttar and then back to Chikwani. We're down the final 2 minutes. Plus anything Don Robertson adds on at the end of extra time. And as is the case 9 times out of 10, There's not been too much happened in the extra half hour. Rangers delivered of the ball in the net, was ruled out for a handball as Tavernier looks for Bayrami's overhit it, and it goes out for a goal kick. And it's a goal kick to Celtic. And I mean, this is a video nasty, this one. If you're anyone who's got to watch this game back, and I'm not someone who would like to put you off the highlights sportsiness on tonight, but let's hope that St Mirren Partick Thistle produces more than what we've seen here. The two biggest clubs in the country, and it's been flat as a pancake at times.
They've worked hard. Listen, they've battled. All of those ingredients are there, but just the quality of passing and you know, and creativity, it's all missing.
Yeah, St Mirren Partick Thistle live on the BBC Scotland channel coming up this evening. Once we're done here on Sports Sound and BBC Radio Scotland's looking like penalties. Tranchara was in an offside position, so Rangers pick up here with Fernandez on the halfway line, out to the right side for Tavernier. Mavuka with the challenge. Tavernier gets it back from Bayrami. Scales the covering player. Scales gets it back to his keeper. But in the final minute of extra time at 0-0. Long clearance. Fernandez with the header. Chikwani loses out to James Forrest, who picks up midway inside his own half. Celtic looking for the late show again, as they've done so often. And Mavuka's onside here if he can get onto it. He does, but Bayrami bites back, lays it off to Forrest. He's inside the box. James Forrest options in the middle, blocked by Sutar on the 6-yard line, and that's going to go out for a Celtic throw on the near side. What an opportunity that was. They've barely been behind the Rangers defence all afternoon, and they can't take advantage of it.
Oh my word, what a break from Celtic, and again that man Forrest, you would expect him maybe to pick somebody out better.
It's penalties. There's no time for another attack. The Scottish Cup quarter-final will be decided from the penalty spot, and a shootout after it finishes goalless. Both teams at the ball in the net. Maida in the first half of normal time ruled out for offside against Liam Scales, who'd flicked on Luke McCowan's cross, and then Fernandez thought he'd given Rangers the lead in the first period of extra time, ruled out for a handball as it bounced back off him and into the net, off his arm. And a game lacking in quality will be decided in the most dramatic fashion. It will be decided by penalties, because it finished here in Glasgow after extra time. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
We are set for the drama that always comes with a penalty shootout. Jack Butland has faced 5 penalties this season and has saved each and every one of them, albeit a couple. Shankland back in September, and then Hitati last week. The opposition did score from the rebound, but he is a formidable barrier in that Rangers goal. Rangers have had 12 penalties awarded. They've scored 11, just one miss from James Tavernier. His effort saved by Jerome Prior at Livingston. Celtic have had 8 and have scored from 6, albeit they also scored from the rebound of the Butland one, the Butland save last week. So they've had plenty of practice over the course of the season, but of course largely is down to 1 or 2 players, generally in Rangers' case, mainly James Tavernier. So who is going to step up? Who will be the big personality that Danny Rowe spoke about beforehand? Who is going to emerge victorious? At least, Tom English, we are guaranteed drama and excitement at the conclusion of this one.
We might see a ball entering the net and counting. What was the Butland stat again, Richard?
He's faced 5 penalties this season and saved them all.
Wow, I mean, that is unbelievable. Well, they need him now. Wow, do they need him? Because if Rangers don't go through here, Celtic will flow back to Celtic Park if they manage to pull this one out of the bag.
Oh, if Celtic get away with this, Tom.
Yeah, well, it's a who done yes.
Not a shot. Did you say, Liam? No shots at goal. No shots.
One shot on goal. No shot on target. No shot on target. In normal time and extra time. That is it's almost like an achievement. That's very, very hard to do.
I mean, they really went from the goal that was disallowed in the 35th minute through until the 120th minute, and that Forrest cutback that was cut out by Suter. That was the next time they really threatened the Rangers penalty area. So, look, Rangers are going to be absolutely devastated Both sides will be, whichever one loses out, but given how they have dominated this game, Rangers have thrown away the opportunity. Once again, the players, Celtic players I can see right now, huddled up. It's Sean Maloney who is talking to them all now. I'm sure there's been similar pep talk given by Danny Roll to his team, to his players. In the first instance, 5 will be lined up, and the fascinating thing will be seeing which 5 are actually going to be taking the penalties, and indeed which of the goalkeepers could potentially turn out to be the hero. Will it be Butland? Will it be Sinisalo? It is, I mean, it's almost a no-lose situation for the keepers. If they save them, they're the hero. If they score, well, people are expected to score. James Tavernier and Liam Scales, the two captains, with the referee Don Robertson, they're getting all sorted out. The penalties about to begin, and describing them will, of course, be Liam McLeod.
And they're going to be taken at the Copeland Road end in front of the Rangers fans. So the Celtic fans who occupy the entirety of the Broom Lawn are going to have to watch it from the other end of the stadium. Rangers have only been involved in a couple of Scottish Cup penalty shootouts. They beat Celtic in the 2016 semis. They lost to St Johnstone in 2021. Here, Celtic, their penalty shootout record in this competition is 1-2, lost 3. One of those defeats came in last season's final against Aberdeen. So not only will they be taken in front of the Rangers supporters off to our right, Rangers will take first, and it is their captain, James Tavernier, who is spotting it up, and will face Vayami Sinisalo with the first of these penalty kicks. And as usual, you can cut the tension with a knife. The fingernails being bitten. Fans on the edge of their seats if they are sitting at all. Don Robertson's whistle signals Tavernier's moment here against Sinisalo. Right-footed penalty from the skipper. So often he's come up with the goods. Here he goes. He's hit the bar. Over. Tavernier fails, and it's advantage early in the shootout to Celtic. Tavernier looks up to the blue skies above, looking for answers. He won't find them there. 0-0 after the first penalty. Rangers missing.
Well, it's not like him, is it? You know, I've never seen him hit a penalty down the middle like that, high up. It's normally up into the corner, predominantly on the right-hand side. And Sinisalo had a lot of movement in front of him. Maybe that put him off. But yeah, Celtic in a good position at this moment in time.
Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's going to take their first one. He's taken a big, deep breath as he stands over the ball. Now he moves back the way towards the 18-yard line. Butland, with his phenomenal penalty record, stands just off to his right of the centre of the goal. It is Oxlade-Chamberlain against Butland as Celtic look to hammer home their advantage here after Tavernier's miss. Oxlade-Chamberlain scores right down the middle. Celtic in front. A penalty each taken. Celtic 1 up.
Yeah, the one person he fancied going up was going to be James Tavernier. He's handed the advantage to Celtic. Oxlade-Chamberlain just lifted it down the middle, not a lot of pace on it, waiting for Jack Butland to dive, just used his instep to guide it high in the middle.
Rangers have lost 3 of their last 4 penalty shootouts. They did beat Fenerbahce though in the most recent one a year ago in the Europa League, and Nedim Bayrami is looking to have them register for the first time in this one. Sinisalo kicking his post, dancing along his goal line, and in it goes from Bayrami. It's low, it just squirms under Sinisalo. Rangers back on terms, but they've taken 2 to Celtic's 1. It's 1 apiece in the shootout as Austin Trusty makes his way forward.
Wow, he's actually dived kind of almost over the ball now when Sinisalo goes on a bit of pace on the ball, but maybe if he had to stay stationary, I think then he would have maybe collapsed better on it. But he's on that move as he's trying to put the player off. It doesn't allow you to make that sort of keep your eye on the ball.
So much pressure, Andy, on these players.
Yeah, so much pressure. You've got to say, it's Austin Trusty stepping up. I think he's had a fantastic 120 minutes for Celtic. All remains on this kick.
Left-footed penalty from Celtic's big number 6. As he waits, statuesque. Trusty right now, here he begins his run up left-footed, scores, sends Butland the wrong way.
just going to go up and take the next one. He looked tired in the game. Also, this is always something that people don't take into consideration. People who have played right through the full 90 minutes and then extra time, the legs are that little bit more jellier when you walk up and take a penalty.
Big moment for Ryan Adiri, this one. All the coaches, the subs, those who have come off during the match are lined up in a throng in front of us here at Ibrox, either side of the halfway line. The other players who might be taking part in the centre circle, arms round each other. Ryan Adiri with Rangers 2-1 down in the shootout. Chance to square it. Right footed, Nadiri's just got it in. Sinisalo got a touch with a pretty weak penalty, but it finds its way into the bottom left corner. Rangers 2, Celtic 2. The Rangers have taken 3.
Oh, I thought he could have saved that one. Actually, I thought it wasn't. There was no pace on the penalty. It was in the corner, and he's dived, and it's just either. He was a little bit late, maybe sticking his hand to the ball, but it looked to me as if it was one that you could have saved.
You could hear the glove making contact with the ball there. Yeah, it wasn't a powerful effort.
Yeah, you could. There wasn't a lot of pace on it. Sinisalo was disappointed they got there. Look who's stepping up now.
Yeah, Reo Hatate, who had that penalty late on here last week. He missed the first rebound, scored in the second. Up against Butland. Hatate to put Celtic back in front. Here he goes into the right corner. Celtic perfect so far. Hatate arms outstretched in front of the Copeland Road end, and it's Rangers 2, Celtic 3 in the shootout. They've taken 3 each.
This penalty so far, pace, power, into the corner, knew exactly what he was doing, side-footed, goalkeeper goes the wrong way, but it was the pace on the ball.
JD Gassama's up next for Rangers. Nillaford to miss now. Rangers have to score there too and hope Celtic miss one of theirs. Gassama up against Sinisalo. He's on the 18-yard line. The whistle from the referee. Here he goes then. Gassama's a long look at the goal. Now he begins his run up. Little stutter, right-footed over the bar. It's over. And Rangers' hopes of reaching the Scottish Cup semis might be over as well, because Tranchara's going to have the chance to put Celtic into the last 4 with their next penalty. Like a skipper, it goes over the bar, only this time it doesn't clip it. It's an awful penalty from Gassama. Rangers 2, Celtic 3 in the shootout, and Tranchara has his big moment here.
Well, it must have been 5 yards over the crossbar. Worst penalty. It kind of sums up maybe the game in general.
Yeah, you've took the words out of my mouth, Pat. If anything summed up the quality from a Rangers point of view in this game, it was that penalty there. Tranchara has a chance to win it for Celtic.
The big striker stands on the 18-yard line again as a look up at Jack Butland. This is the put Celtic through. Here he goes, right-footed penalty, and he does! Celtic have done it! They're through to the semis on penalties. Thomas Tranchara smashes it into the bottom left corner to send the visiting fans in the Broom Lawn wild with delight. The Rangers players crestfallen down below us. Martin O'Neill has taken Celtic back to Hampden in the most dramatic of styles here, with the penalty shootout right at the end. Tranchara making the difference after a tousy attritional derby in the quarter-finals. It finished goalless. Penalties decide it, and Tranchara has sent Celtic into the semis. There's supporters on the pitch here, primarily from the visiting fans, who are celebrating off to our left. But Celtic scored all 4 of their spot kicks to partly exercise the ghosts of last season's final. Oxlade, Chamberlain, Trusty, Hatate, Tranchara, after Tavernier and Gassama failed. It finished here at Ibrox, with Celtic joining Falkirk and Dunfermline Athletic in the semi-final draw, which will follow St Mirren Partick Thistle tonight. Rangers 0, Celtic 0, with Celtic going through 4-2 on penalties.